Okay, you should see my screen now, so let's go ahead and get started. First of all, I just wanted to, number one, welcome you here to the webinar, How to Start Your Coaching Business in 30 Days. This is going to be a really important step, I think, for for any coaching business, and we're going to talk a lot about just getting started today and what that's about. Before we get started, I just want to give you a quick point of order. My computer just lost all our slides, so I'm using an older slide deck that doesn't have everything I wanted to make sure I had for you today, and I apologize for that. So that's the bad news. The good news is that although there is going to be a little bit more of a jumping around from resource to resource for me to provide and fulfill on the promises that I made you for this webinar. This will also actually give us a little bit more of an opening to be a little less structured and a chance to also answer some more of your questions and make this a little bit more of a conversation. So could be a really positive thing, actually, that sometimes you got your slides and everything is exactly controlled and you know exactly what we're going to cover, etc. So I do have my outline in front of me. We're going to cover everything that I promised you. I will fulfill on that, and we will get you a complete set of slides and actually a video that'll that will give you all the information in a little bit more visually stimulating format that I might be able to provide here today. So with that disclaimer, a couple things. First of all, if you're out there, please type in the chat and say hi. I want to see who's out there, who's on the webinar. I see Michael and April and Elena and Mark and little Miss S, Krista. Great to have you on the webinar. Yes, this is live. I think somebody typed in a question, are we actually live? This is a live webinar. If you hadn't noticed, I lost my slides. If this was a recording, we'd have the perfect slides. So, oh wow, great. Okay, Jennifer, Vanessa, Sheila, fantastic to have you here. Once again, welcome. And I can't say enough how much I love and respect that you're here. First of all, I respect the fact that you're here because there's so many things that you could be doing, tonight or whatever time it is for you. We've got students from all around the world that are joining us, several different continents at least. And I can't acknowledge you enough to take the time to be here live because you're going to have a chance to get your questions answered, and also, this is really the only guarantee nowadays with webinars is that you're actually on there live, because you just never know how the recording is exactly going to turn out. So this is really a special chance for us to interact and work together on getting your coaching business started. And also, I just love the fact that, what probably drew you here is an interest in helping others, is a commitment to make a difference in the world, to change lives. That is someone that is like that, is someone that's after my own heart. And so, I'm really grateful to spend this time with you, because coaches are some of the, most beautiful souls on the planet, I think, because we're talking about individuals and people that sacrifice their time and sacrifice a part of their life and give up, quality time with their family or leisure time or resources, money, etc., apart from time, energy, so that someone else has something that they need, so that they improve their health, so that they improve their finances or their business or career, so that they improve their spiritual life, so that they actually create the results that they are really after. So, my guess is you wouldn't be here unless that was you. And so with that assumption in place, I love who you already are that got you to this point where we can be, in this webinar together. And my mission for you that I've taken on here is for you to have the kind of results that I've experienced. I mean, I think I actually have those slides, so I'll be able to show you some of that. But what I'm about to show you that I've been able to accomplish in the last 15 years is what I really want for you. And so I'm going to start, first of all, just by getting to the point here. We're talking about starting your coaching business, becoming a coach, a life coach, an executive coach, and this is a 30-day period that I'm saying that you can do this in. So how do you do that? How do you start your coaching business or become a life coach or an executive coach in 30 days? Well, to do it in 30 days, you've got to start. You've just got to start. I mean, hopefully that's kind of obvious. It says how to start. This is about starting. If you start, then you've already accomplished that, right? Now, everyone's got a different definition of what starting looks like. And so I'm going to give you a very simple definition, which is that you've actually started coaching. You've actually started reaching out from a business perspective to prospective clients and started to give them invitations to run sessions and sign up for coaching, things like that. Now, that doesn't mean you necessarily have a paying client in 30 days. Actually, you can really get a paying client in less than 30 days. But if you're actually coaching people and you're doing it professionally and you're actually creating the opportunity for others to sign up for a paid program, so it's not just something where you're just doing it because you're flat out just making a contribution alone, you're actually starting to create a business here, then in my opinion, you've started. Now, is that the perfect business? Probably not, right? You're not going to build Rome in a day. You're not going to build Rome in 30 days, right? But you can get it started. And that's what this is about. And if you've watched a couple of the videos that I have already prepared for you as you signed up for this webinar, one of the things that I showed you is that, hey, if you can get one client, there's a really good chance that you can get two. And if you can get two clients, the next level is probably something like 8 or 9. And if you can get 8 or 9 clients, you can get 100. You can get as many clients as you really choose to get. That's ultimately the reality of this. So starting is a much bigger deal than you might think. And the reason it's such a big deal is because once you've started, once you've gotten to that point where you've gotten some paying clients and you're underway, the rest is repetition. The rest is doing more of that. The rest is taking the next step. It's rinsing and repeating, so to speak. So that's why this is so crucial. And starting really is the hardest thing for most coaches. It's one of the hardest things just to get started. So that's why we're covering this today. And now, I thought a lot about starting my coaching business before I did. But thinking didn't get me anywhere. I thought and thought. I think I thought about it for several years before I did anything about it. Didn't get me anywhere. I had to take action in order to get where I needed to go with my coaching business, in order to get that started. So you should have this at this point, and if not, you can check your email. And if it's not in your email, I'm going to give you a link right now to it. And this is your Get Your First Paid Client Action Plan. And there's a reason I called it an action plan. It's because it's not a thinking plan. This is not about more thought put towards getting started. This is not about having the perfect strategy even, although strategy can be fantastic. It's funny, they've done studies on businesses and how well strategy makes a difference. And they found that businesses that are well established already, right? Businesses that have no written plan actually do just as well statistically as businesses that spend a week on strategic planning every single year. And it's one of those surprises. And I'm not against written plans. I've got plenty of written plans, but just a bunch of plans and a bunch of thinking, that doesn't necessarily do you the kind of good that an action plan will. So I'm going to give you a link to this. Let me just going to go ahead and pull it up right now. I'm going to paste it into the chat. So if you don't have this action plan, you'll actually be able to get it. So if you'll go to this page, you're going to see it in a second pop up. Let's go ahead and go to that page if you don't have that action plan. Download the action plan because we're going to be spending quite a bit of time within that action plan tonight. Okay, so the point of this was there's a big difference between thinking about it and acting on it, talking about it and acting on it. And I'm going to give you a plan for action here. It's fairly simple, but it's going to get you what you need in order to get your first paid client. Whether or not your entire coaching business gets started, whether or not you decide to work with us over the next 30 days to not just learn your coaching and the foundation of that, but also build your coaching business using the proven models that we've taught hundreds of coaches by this time. So download that action plan right now if you don't have it. And you should have that in front of you. You're going to want to take notes within that action plan. And by the way, speaking of notes, besides that action plan tonight, I'm going to ask you to have a hardbound journal if you've got one with you. Pull it out, or any kind of journal that you use. If you don't have a journal to take notes in, go ahead and take notes on something that you can transfer to a journal later. Journal is kind of permanent, so it's nice to have something like that, but if you don't have it, take notes somewhere. And what I'm going to suggest that you do is in your notes that, and in fact, let me just pull up my notes here if I can find them. Here we go. Okay. Well, when you're taking notes, I'm going to suggest that you do is that you have two different places that you take notes, two different pages, for instance. And at the top of one page, you can just put something like ideas. And the top of this, the second page, or a different page, I want you to write action or actions. Now, you can write all sorts of stuff on ideas. In fact, you can even write actions under your ideas page, right? But under actions, I don't want you to write anything other than specific, measurable actions that you can take. These may not be actions you absolutely are going to take immediately, but at least you have only an action list. What you can do after this webinar with this action list is that you can actually prioritize these actions. You can, you can highlight the ones that you're actually going to do immediately. And my best coaching for you on this is whatever actions you list, that you find a couple at least that you're going to immediately do. You're going to take action immediately on so that you get momentum from what you learn tonight. Because ultimately, like I said, it's not just about thinking about something. Starting is about action. Are you getting this? Is this making sense? Can you imagine the difference between somebody like thinking about it versus acting on it? That's really the point here. Okay, so let's come back to, let me get rid of my notes here. All right, so what we're going to cover tonight, I'm going to cover several things, and my purpose here is twofold. And all of this is really ultimately about the challenge that we face every day to take action versus thinking about taking action. But my purpose here is twofold. The first outcome that I have is to share some of what we teach our coaches to help them start their coaching businesses. And sometimes these same strategies allow them to be making thousands of dollars literally within 30 days. And that doesn't happen to everybody, and it's not necessarily your typical result, but this does happen for many of our students. And I'm also going to give you some information about the Quick Start Coaching Code program that's starting very soon, how it works, what's included, and how you can actually join the program. At the end, I'm going to tell you how to get the slides that are in disrepair right now, but they will be perfected over the coming days, and the full video recording of this webinar. In addition, by the end of this webinar, you will also have that action plan. If I can find it. You will have a completed Get Your First Paid Client action plan as well if you stick with me during this webinar. And also, I'm going to give you access to a strategy session with my coach, really my top coach that's on the JTS Advisors coaching team. And, I hope that beyond any of that, that as you listen to me tonight, that this is really the beginning of a new journey for you, of a new profitable coaching business for where you change lives and you get paid for doing it. And it's a pretty big claim to make that, I can help you with that, or that you can even do that for that matter. A lot of people will doubt that, but it's one that I know I can deliver on. And it's not because I'm so great or because I've done it a million times before or anything like that. It's because what I'm about to share with you is an invitation to make decisions. And you and I both know that decisions are what changes our lives for the better. Change is going to happen, right? Change is automatic. But progress isn't. Progress is what we're after. It's actually making changes to move in the direction that we want. That's what we call progress, right? So ultimately, there's got to be a key to making real progress. I'm going to get to that in a second. Before I do, I'm going to share with you a little bit of the background of how I got to this point where I can actually help you with this. My name is Jeffrey Sue, if you haven't figured it out already. I'm the founder of Master Coach University. I live in Florida with my family. That's my house. Just kidding. That's just on us on vacation in Orlando. And over the last, now 15 years, I need to update these slides, believe it or not. Over the last 15 years, I've worked with just about every type of individual from every walk of life, at least in the Western world, as well as several other continents. Pretty much every continent now, we've had at least a student, if not a client, other than Antarctica. I always have trouble with that continent. But our clients include the Fortune 10, some of the largest companies in the world. If you looked at just our reports from my team in terms of the sessions that they ran this month, I think, or last month at least, it would amount in at least over 100 paid sessions that they've run with the companies that you're looking at right here, and others as well. So there's a lot of training organizations out there that they basically train coaches, and that's wonderful that they do that. But we actually do this stuff. This is not my main gig, just training coaches and just teaching this. This is an area that I'm committed to really providing support and helping out, because it's really part of our mission. You are part of my mission to really make a difference in the world, because I can't coach everybody. We've tried, but I can't. And Mark, no, we don't have a non-PDF format available during the webinar. But if you email me, I will see what I can do to get it in a format that'll work for you. We'll talk about getting in touch in just a little while. So, the point I'm making here is that we actually do this stuff. This is something that is a weekly experience, a daily experience for myself and my team to actually run coaching sessions, and we're a real coaching organization. At Master Coach University, we now have over 27,000 students. I like to round that up to 30,000, but I'm being as exact as I can. This is me just training some of them years ago. It's one of my photos from one of our certification trainings. But we have plenty of students just like you that literally started from scratch through our Quick Start Coaching Code systems or some other more advanced program that they worked with us in that included the Quick Start Coaching Code. We work with at least about 100 clients a year. Many times, frankly, we're probably doing more than that. This is just what we've done online. I've got 12 coaches that work with us, and actually a team of salespeople that sell our coaching for us now as well, which makes it really easy on myself and our coaches, so we can just coach. We can just do really what we love to do. It's kind of a dream, really, when you think about it. This is actually not the last 30 days. This is several months ago. Last 30 days we did over 100 sessions, but it's just some clips from our Google spreadsheets of every time one of our coaches does a session, they report it. And I just did a quick count several months ago that we had run about 95 sessions in a 30-day period. Every one of those are paid sessions. We also run tons of complimentary sessions. That's part of our marketing efforts within our organization. Just in the last 12 months, I know we've had more than this now, but this is definitely, I'm understating this, but at the time that I checked these numbers, that was where we were at. This was probably about 3-4 months ago. I gotta say we're beyond that now, but we've run at least 100 free sessions the last year and 189 free session signups just in the last 12 months. Here's the update on that. We've actually run 73 of those just in the last week alone. So this is not just getting paid to coach and we have some old clients or something like that. We have active marketing where we're regularly running sessions with people that have never done coaching before as well. A little bit about my background. I actually did not get started as a coach. I was trained as a musician. I went to Manhattan School of Music. I played professionally in New York for several years. This is me on a gig on the West Coast when I lived in California. And so this was not my expertise originally. I really cared about people, and I felt like it was part of my mission to help people. And I got involved in a lot of personal development like you might have got involved in, maybe before you decided that coaching is a possible career move for you. That was pretty much where I was at the time, and I started utilizing some of what worked for me with others, and I found that it worked really well for them as well, and it just felt so beautiful to be able to help somebody like that. And it also felt pretty powerful. It's like, hey, this person's life is better, this person's business is better, this person's finances is at a whole nother level because I had a conversation with them. It's like I'm patting myself on the back for that. I'm feeling pretty good about that. And then after the music career, I went to work for this guy. And I'm not going to do any name dropping here, but you might recognize, he's got some of the largest events in the world. This is Oprah at one of his seminars. She recently went to one about a year and a half ago or so. And, I really did work for this guy for, several years. And, yes, we did hang out from time to time, at least professionally. This is the guru's head and my head, kind of pretty close on the same picture. And then he fired me. And I went from coaching about 70 or 80 clients a month to nothing overnight. And I found myself within probably less than 6 months from that point, running through my savings, trying to figure out what I was going to do with my life. Definitely not doing what I was put here for in this trailer in Vista, California. If you've watched any of my videos, this is kind of one of the big aspects of it, because I think it's really important to remember that no matter how well things are going for my coaching business right now and how much of a quote-unquote dream it seems like, some of the results we just talked about, so to speak, I mean, that blows me away still to look at that, to remember that I started my coaching business from this trailer. I started my coaching business literally, I had no phone, and I had to pay somebody, hire somebody to come wire a phone into my trailer, and so I could call people and try to set sessions with them. And I had a kitchen, I had no office, and I turned my kitchen sink into an office and put my computer up there. And this was, this is like 2001, so we're talking about dial-up modems still and stuff like that. And I tried to put a website together at that point. I mean, it was really not a really good position to be in. I mean, when you're starting your coaching business, you probably don't want to be calling people up and saying, hey, I'm calling from a trailer up in the hills, and I'm going to help you be more successful. Not exactly a really good strategy. Luckily, I didn't say that when I was making those calls, or it probably wouldn't have gone very well. But I share this because it's important to remember that, wherever you are right now, you don't have to be like super successful and have, all the answers and be a multimillionaire or something like that to make a difference for people. You just got to care. You got to care, and you've got to be committed to putting yourself out there, sticking your neck out and saying, okay, I'm here to help you. That's what I'm about, right? I'm not trying to prove anything. I'm here to make a difference for you. And so that's where it started for me. And from there, years later, I kind of figured it out. I figured a lot of the business out. I hadn't had it completely figured out by that time, but I actually built a team of coaches around me because I got so busy with the clients that I was bringing in at the time that I was pretty overwhelmed. I was overwhelmed with the amount of clients that I was trying to support alone. So I hired coaches and trained them to take those clients. And I first hired accountability coaches, and then I started training coaches in the methodologies that I was really the expert in, that I call strategy coaching, and we started utilizing all the most important coaching within our organization. And so I really brought a lot of coaches along with me in that journey. These are just some pictures from years ago of us on retreats and in meetings and in trainings together. And we really just celebrate the fact that we were able to make a difference for others and pay our way and give ourselves the freedom that this business allows as well. This is a really cool thing. And what that turned into, though, because when I first started training coaches, I wasn't trying to be a certification company or be some big coach training organization or something like that. I just needed coaches to work for me to take on the clients that we were working with. But eventually, a lot of our clients wanted to learn these methods that we utilized so they could manage their people better, so they could be better leaders in their organizations, so they could become coaches themselves and not necessarily just have to work for us. And so from that, we actually built an organization that trained coaches. To train coaches in the most important, valuable elements that you need to provide a client so that you really provide them the breakthroughs, the transformation, and the value that you can give in a coaching session. And so now for over a decade now, I've actually trained coaches that don't work for me, that just they do their own thing, or they can come work for us and do their own thing as well. And what that turned into ultimately was actually there was a New York Times article that you may know about that they actually featured all these coaches that were, most of them, I believe all of them were under the age of 30. They were featuring young coaches. They were saying, look, these people don't have a life. Does a life coach need a life first, right? And so it's kind of a joke on the coaches. But it turns out that all of these coaches, all of them except for one, had full practices and were doing really well at the time. They had tons of clients. And so it was kind of, the joke was on the New York Times in a way, because these coaches were doing incredibly. And they were all my clients from our original Quick Start Coaching Code boot camps and alpha programs and mentoring sessions that I ran with them. And so it's just one of those funny things. And in fact, the only coach, his name was Sean, that wasn't doing extremely well at the time of the article. They talked about him in the article, and he felt pretty demoralized about that, at least at the time. He called me up about probably 10 months ago now, and because we were still in mentoring at that time, and he said, "Look, Jeff, I just had my first $10,000 month." He's had many $10,000 months since then. 100% of it made through his coaching business, by the way. And he literally got to start right from scratch within our program. So the one exception to the rule that we saw, at least within that article, turned himself around, and within a year or so, he's now got a pretty full practice and pretty legendary business by anybody's standard in the coaching business, at least. And so, over the years, since I guess 2005, around that time, I'm estimating, we've been certifying coaches that don't work for me. And I've developed the system that I use to get these coaches started, and myself started for that matter, in teaching those 3 most important and most proven coaching business models into a system that any coach can use and any coach can learn. And it's turned into, again, these are some of the coaches that were featured in the article. A couple of them actually weren't. Anywhere between 10 and 30 clients in under 2 years. All of them generated this in under 2 years. So this is about taking action and getting your first paid client, but also starting a business that truly can pay your way, that can take care of you and your family if you're the breadwinner, that can allow you to live the life that you're after and give you the flexibility so that you can continue to do that. Now, the first thing you've got to do in order to get your first paid client, even if you're not going to work with us on getting your entire business started, is you've got to overcome psychological barriers. And so if you'll open up your action plan, let's just go to page 2 here. And this is the first step. And this is why I'm sharing this as the first step, by the way. You might say, well, Jeff, I'm pretty evolved. I don't need to overcome psychological barriers. Well, here's the thing, that even the most developed psychology has challenges many times with getting their coaching business started, because this is not just any business. You might be a business owner. You might say, Jeff, I've run several businesses. I know all about businesses. I'm confident I can just kind of get this coaching business started. And you might be right. It's possible, but this is a leadership profession. And what I mean by that is that the actual product that you're offering is not you. And a lot of expert training companies and stuff will say, well, you're the product and you're the expert. It's all about what you know and stuff like that. Well, maybe to some extent, that's a fair claim or it's a fair statement. But you're actually, as a coach, your product is your leadership. Your product is not just you, but it's the conversations that you have with your clients and the leadership that will provide your client. The decisions they'll make as a result of the conversations with you. The new directions and visions they create as a result of the conversations with you. The challenges that they overcome as a result of the conversations with you. The new understandings and awarenesses that they generate. The strategies that they understand. The new actions and accountabilities that they take on. And the responsibility level, the power, the newfound power that they have within themselves as a result of conversations with you. That's leadership. At a minimum, that's leadership. I mean, that's magical if you ask me, right? It's a real divine skill that we provide as coaches. It's the work of divinity, if you will. And so, it's really easy if you haven't done that yet. You haven't already been in a leadership profession. Where not just you have to lead, I mean, there's every profession you got to lead to some extent, but where you're actually, that's what's being sold. People are paying you directly for your leadership and nothing else. Or at least that's a big part of it. That, a lot of times we've got psychological barriers around that. And so we want to deal with these first. And I'm going to cover this in a way that will at least allow you to get to the first point of getting your first paid client. And cover this. There's 2 psychological barriers to your taking action, to really achieving any goal. The first one is fear, and the second is procrastination. You want to just write that down right now if you have your workbook with you, have your action plan in front of you. Procrastination. Both of these, by the way, are problems of motivation. I mean, fear is being motivated away from something. Procrastination is like something you want to avoid, right? And procrastination is when your motivation is turned down so low that it's like, surfing the internet or watching TV is more motivating than you achieving your dreams. So both of these are challenges of motivation. Ultimately, a compelling vision will overcome both. So you want to write that down in your action plan. I had all this really beautiful slides that have this just kind of pop into the answers. You're having to see me like type this in. Ultimately, a compelling vision, as I misspell it, will overcome both barriers. And no, we're not waiting. We're actually we're in the webinar right now, Carlos. Just so you know. So hopefully you can hear me and see my screen and everything. Hopefully my screen is showing. Anybody who doesn't see my screen, you're on the phone then, not in the webinar. Or correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, so ultimately a compelling vision conquers both those barriers. I mean, if you're afraid of something, if you're compelled enough towards a vision, you're clear on that vision, you have the foresight to see where you need to go, you'll overcome that fear. If you've been procrastinating, enough of a compelling vision, like you won't want to do that other stuff. It'll be really inspiring for you to go ahead and get on the road to your dreams. Get going where you need to go. So what is vision? Well, vision is defined as intelligent foresight. So hopefully we know what it means to be intelligent, but foresight is seeing exactly where you want to be before you're there. Before you're there. Foresight, seeing where you want to be before you're there. Foresight. So vision is intelligent foresight. It's like you're intelligently seeing where you want to go before you're even there. That's tricky for a lot of us. And if you don't take the time to create that vision, don't take the time to give yourself a chance to clarify that vision and make it compelling for you, that might be missing. And it might be challenging to overcome fear or procrastination. A lot of people will tell me, there's so many people that are so afraid they'll never get past their fear. They can't do it. Or, a lot of people just procrastinate. They're procrastinators. They can't overcome procrastination. And I say, no, you know what? You're wrong about that. It's not true. I don't believe that for a second for any individual on the face of the earth that they cannot overcome fear and procrastination. But the reason why they're not overcoming that is because they don't have a compelling future. They don't have a compelling vision. And if they had that, they would overcome that. Maybe not every single time, but it overcomes both barriers. So why is that important? Well, a compelling vision is important not just to overcome these barriers, but the question is, hey, look, at the end of the week or at the end of the year of 2015 or whenever it is, whenever you're listening to this, at the end of your career, at the end of your life, the question is not whether you're going to arrive or not. I mean, you're going to be there at some point. You're going to arrive. That's not a question of whether or not you're going to arrive. You will. The question is where. Where are you going to be? And where you're going to be can either be decided by other people, it can be decided by statistics or the law of averages, your surroundings, or you can decide. And the choice is yours. Because if you don't have a compelling vision for your future, someone else does, and guess what? They don't care if it's compelling for you. Not because they're a bad person, but just because it's like they're busy thinking about what's compelling for them. So when we work for somebody else, that's kind of what happens a lot of times. A lot of times it's hard to find where those visions are going to coincide. You might not even know if you're not clear, right? And so it's like, I don't want to be mad at the boss. It's like they're actually living their compelling vision probably, or the owner of that business that I work for. But if I'm going to do my own thing, that vision, it can't be missing. Because if not, I'm probably going to deal with fear, procrastination, or I'm going to end up somewhere that I don't want to be, or it's not what I was probably hoping for. So that's the question, is where are you going to end up? And a compelling vision is the beginning of that process. So what makes that vision compelling? Motivation. Ultimately, what makes a vision compelling is motivation. And all motivation, and all of this really, is driven by belief. So you can write that in your action plan. All motivation is driven by belief. And all of this, your compelling vision, even fear and procrastination is driven by belief. In order to procrastinate, you've got to believe there's really nothing much to do other than whatever you're doing to procrastinate. or that there's things you'd rather not do, i.e. fear. And you have beliefs that make you feel that way. If you didn't believe those beliefs, you probably feel differently about it. So all that's driven by belief. All motivation is belief driven. It's what you believe is most important. It's what you connect with that activity that you're doing or not doing that makes all the difference in the world. And that motivation that you have or don't have will make that vision compelling or not so compelling. And if it's not so compelling, then fear and procrastination, well, we know the rest of the story, right? So that's that first step, is to overcome those psychological barriers. Now, we're going to talk about some other things that have to do with psychology, but are also, real issues and real concerns that new coaches have. So the first one I'm going to cover is, can you coach without being certified? And here's the thing. Yes, you can. You can coach without being certified. And in fact, we are in the process of becoming accredited by International Coach Federation. They're the most widely accepted and world-recognized authority in coach certification, credentialing, and accreditation of the highest level coaching schools. And all of their standards, even the lowest level certification or credential that you can get from ICF, demands that you coach before you get that credential. So even the most well-recognized organizations in the world, literally the standard setters for certification, expect you to coach without being certified. They actually expect that. So not only can you, but you actually have to if you're working with us, or you're working with most of the world of coaching. Actually, you need to coach without being certified, and you also can do it. The reality is that certification is all about credibility and confidence. And confidence is just a state of mind. A lot of coaches will say, I'll be a lot more confident that I can coach well and I can make a difference for people. I'm not going to screw something up if I'm certified. And I can get that. But here's the problem. A lot of times those same coaches have such doubts about their abilities. They're trying to make up for it with a credential or with a certificate. And so they get the certificate and they feel good for a while, but then they start doubting again. And it's just this vicious cycle. You want to avoid that. Not to mention that, and by the way, sometimes, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. You get your credential and then, okay, now I'm confident because I got my credential, and they lean on that, and that's fair, right? But for a lot of coaches, that confidence doesn't stick around, or they need more than just a credential to have that confidence. And the fact is, confidence is just a state of mind, like I said before, and you can change your state of mind without anybody else doing anything for you, and without me handing you a certificate for that matter. So it might be more important to manage that state of mind, to be able to get in that confident state no matter what is going on around you. I mean, I wasn't in a really great state about 15 minutes before this webinar, because our entire slides were all of a sudden lost, right? And so it was a really interesting time. You wouldn't want to be around me at those couple minutes, but when it was time to go ahead and start the webinar, I got into the right state of mind. And I know how to do that because I've done it for 15 years, actually more than 15 years. And especially when something's on the line like this future that we are co-creating together. That's not something that, no matter what's going on with my slides, it's I'm going to be in the right state of mind for y'all. And before any session every time for 15 years now, maybe with once or twice an exception, I've been I put myself in a certain state of mind, a confident, powerful, unstoppable, caring, intelligent, resourceful state of mind. So the best came through me during those times. You don't need a certificate for that. You don't need anything for that but the tools that God or the universe has already given you that are within you. And we actually work with our coaches to create what we call that coach's state of mind before they even start coaching. That's not something I'm going to get into detail tonight around because we have a limited time, but don't expect a certificate to do that for you. Now, I also mentioned that certification is about credibility. There's lots of ways to get credibility. And look, having a certificate could help you with your credibility. There's no doubt about it. But if that's the only way that you can create credibility with your client, then you may have a lot of trouble as well. Because I personally, and I've worked with thousands of clients, I've never ever had a non-coach client ask us about our certification. Ask me or my coaches whether whether I have this certification or that certification or something like that. And the reason is because we created credibility with those clients way before they would even want to ask that question by proving to them that we knew what we were doing and that we could help them by actually helping them. We proved it with results. We ran a free session, got them a result on that session. They're not asking us if we're credible anymore. They know that we can help them. They've had the experience, not just some alphabet soup or some certificate. So proving it with results, actual demonstration of what you can do for somebody, it's like the ultimate credibility. You don't have to do that, but it's definitely one option for you. And it's a lot more powerful than a certificate, in my experience. Also, there's something that I call social proof. And social proof comes more often than not from people that you've already helped, that are giving testimonials or that are referring other people to you. They call it word of mouth, so to speak. And when somebody comes to you that has been referred to you or heard about you from somebody or saw some testimonials from people that got real measurable results from your coaching, it's like they're not interested in your credentials at that point. You've proven your credentials through the University of Results, so to speak, the school of real measurable results. And yes, if you are an authority figure, people probably lend you a certain amount of credibility. But sometimes nowadays, we even nitpick our authorities more than we would people that we don't consider authorities. But we do tend to listen to authorities still. But the free sampling process, and we'll talk about that in a little bit more detail in a couple minutes. The free sampling process is so important to us in our business and most of the coaches that we've worked with. Personally, I've never even met a coach who's gotten tons of high-level one-on-one coaching clients without offering free sessions and doing free sample coaching, because that credibility piece is so important before a client signs up and spends hundreds of dollars a month on just talking to you on the phone. So a free sampling process is a great way to generate credibility. Ultimately, seeing is believing. You show them evidence that you can produce results. You show them the fruits of your labor, so to speak. They're going to believe you. And actually, certification is a poor substitute for the things that we just talked about. It's nice to have. And at some point in your coaching career, I might even recommend it to you. It's kind of a self-selection, or it's kind of a case-by-case basis as to when certification makes sense. And we do provide, and we have a certification program. We have our own ICF credentialing program that you can actually be a part of if you would like to join us with that. We're running it right now. And you can actually get your ICF credential within 3-4 months or so, if that's what you choose to do. But you don't need to, especially when you're getting started. I know I didn't even look at that kind of stuff for years, and I was coaching lots and lots of clients. And the reason was just what we just talked about. Now, I'm going to also cover one other element, and this is going to kind of get us back into our action plan. But before I do that, actually, we move on to step 2. This is really a big part of what we just talked about, actually, which is clarifying your coaching value. Your value doesn't come from some certificate. And the intention of this step is to know that without a doubt that the coaching conversations your clients have with you will be valuable, that they'll be more valuable than the money that they pay you. You know, you want to be aware of that. You want to be prepared for that. And chances are, to really be confident when you're approaching new clients, chances are you're going to want to know what your value is, right? If I didn't know what my value is, I wouldn't talk to anybody. You know, but I've talked to thousands of people. Why? Because I know my value. I've clarified that value over and over and over again, and I've added more value to that as well, through education, through experience, and through trial and error, and through, you know, screwing up slides and all sorts of stuff, right? So clarify your coaching value. You want to know that whatever they pay you, that you're giving them more in return, and you're able to do that. So there's all sorts of different values that your coaching may provide, or possible value your coaching may provide. Accountability. Your client will take actions that they normally wouldn't take because you're holding them accountable for those. Decision making. I mean, you could have an entire coaching practice just based on helping people make decisions, whether it's ongoingly or just a one-time decision that they got to make about their relationships, or about their finances, or about their career, or about their health, or about their fitness, or about weight loss, or about emotions, or about spirituality, or we could go on and on, right? The entire wheel of life is covered under decisions. You can niche down 10 different ways, have 10 different businesses running just on helping somebody with decision making. In fact, that's one of the big things a lot of times you do when you're running a complimentary session. We'll talk about that in a second. Your client will make new decisions that will add value to their life. Third, awareness and clarity. This is huge. This is actually one of the ICF core competencies as well. It's providing awareness. Your client will become more aware and clear on issues that impact their life, thus making it possible to make progress. There is no progress that's possible without awareness. If there's something stopping you, some issue for you, whether it's a belief or a fear or a conversation or a relationship or whatever, right? An activity, an addiction, habit, if you will. If you're not aware of that, or not aware that it's stopping you, there's no possibility for progress there. It starts with honesty and awareness. Without that, nothing's possible. With that awareness, any change is possible. Any transformation could be possible. And when you provide that, or you support your client with that kind of awareness, it's amazing the kind of changes that will happen, the kind of progress that's created. Moving on to the next page, strategy support. Your client will improve their strategy for achieving results that they desire via your advice, support, and open discussion. And I want to clarify this because that advice word is kind of a bad word for a lot of the world of the dogma in coaching. A lot of coaches have been kind of programmed that you can't give advice, you don't give advice. We talk about advice all the time, and sometimes I'll get a comment or a Facebook communication. It's like, stop this. Stop telling coaches they can give advice. You know, you're ruining everything. You know, this is not right. And the facts are a little bit different than that. The facts are that even the most widely accepted core competencies of coaching do not preclude you from giving advice. Now, if all you do is give advice, okay, you might not be really demonstrating your coaching skills at that point. You've got your consultant hat on, let's say. But offering great information, knowledge, and advice can be very valuable in a coaching session. Is it coaching per se? Oh, maybe not. I mean, I'll leave that up to those that want to focus on definitions, right? But as a coach, you definitely give strategic support. You know, that is a competency of coaching. And you can do that by supporting them, being a sounding board, open discussion, asking powerful questions. And yeah, it's great to have your client come up with those answers. But if they don't come up with those answers, I don't think there's anything wrong with giving them a couple answers themselves. And part of that will support them in getting a better strategy. They got a better strategy, they'll probably have a faster path towards the results that they're after. Fifth, friendship and moral support. Your client may gain value from just a supportive listener and a sounding board. A lot of times that's all they need. And finally, emotional and spiritual guidance. Your client may improve their emotional and spiritual well-being by your guidance and your support and your coaching in that particular area as well. You could probably add to this list And I definitely invite you to do that. But the bottom line is you have coaching value. So here, let's go ahead and take an action on this right now. There's really no blanks to fill in on this part. I just went ahead and gave you the answers on this one. But what I'd like you to do is go ahead and fill in the chat right now. What's your coaching value? What out of you might pick one of these: strategic support, or emotional guidance, or friendship, or accountability, or you might have something that's completely off the list. Just type in the chat right now, what is your coaching value that you bring to the table, or that you're working on clarifying that you think you can provide. Okay, Mark says accountability. That's a great one. I'll tell you, 99% of your clients are going to need accountability. They're going to need to take action. Why? Because whatever area of their life or business that they're having trouble with, chances are there's an action that they know they should take that they're not yet taking. See the old Tony Robbins quote, we know what to do, but we don't do what we know, right? Just priceless. In fact, I know a big coaching organization, multi-million-dollar organization. They work in the real estate industry. And they were one of the first real estate industry, like real estate sales coaches out there. And basically what they did for a while, I don't know if they still do this exactly, but they would charge $1,000 a month just to get on the phone with these agents that they would work with, these salespeople. And if the salespeople hadn't made their calls, they hadn't taken their actions, they hadn't done what they needed to do in order to get their business to the next level, they would just kind of yell at them until they would get off the phone and go do it. Now, that's not exactly the most elegant approach, right? But it's some accountability there, at least. And I'll tell you, those clients came back month after month after month, gladly paying $1,000 a month, because every time they took an action, they made $5,000, at least in that business. So accountability is just infinitely valuable. Arlene says hope. That's a beautiful thing. A lot of our clients is exactly what they need. Even if nothing's going to change for them, if they get hope in that moment, emotionally things will change, right? And that's a change in and of itself. Michael says clarity. So important, and that clarity can come into strategy and all sorts of other areas. Emotional and spiritual guidance, awareness and clarity, fantastic. Vanessa says non-judgmental point of view, really great. You know what? What's happening with your clients all day, or your prospective clients, or people that probably should be your clients, is that they're being judged all day. All day they're being judged. Most of the time, I would say, not even like just every once in a while. All day they're being judged. Now you might say, well, Jeff, there's a lot of people out there that don't judge each other. So how can you say all day these people are being judged? I can say that because who's judging them the most? It's themselves. They're judging themselves, right? So they need that non-judgmental point of view just to get themselves out of their own judgments about themselves and about what's going on. Gerard says strategy development. Ebony says awareness and clarity. Really great answers, guys. Are you getting this? Are you getting what your value is? I mean, does this make sense? If you're not clear about that, I don't expect you to go out there and get your first paid client. So can you imagine having that value and knowing that there's someone in the world that you know, that you already know who they are, that you know you can help in that particular way, and you're talking to them, they're talking about the challenges that they're facing that you know you can help them with. I mean, in my opinion, it's like ethically or morally, it's almost like your obligation to offer them coaching at that point. But if you're not clear on your value, maybe you won't know to do that. But if you're motivated to really help and make a difference, then chances are, if you're clear on your value, you're going to want to give that value to them. And that's why this is step 2. That's why this is so extremely important. Really, really great answers, guys. Balance, clarity, awareness, empathy, help with a roadmap. Really great, Beth. Definitely accountability, right, as well as empathy. Empathy and accountability, interesting combination. And, there are people that provide accountability without any empathy, and a lot of times that doesn't make much of a difference. It's not very good accountability. But when you can combine that together, when you're able to really be rigorous with your client, but at the same time, care for them and love them and support them and do that. Like, be rigorous with them in a way that they can hear, that's empathetic. That is a tremendous skill. It's exactly one of the skills that our students develop, practice, learn, and then ultimately master with us if they choose to. And it provides that kind of action, that kind of accountability that's really, truly needed in our world. Recreating yourself with getting to know your inner truth. It's kind of an awareness thing, but there's, it's an even deeper piece. That includes awareness and emotional and spiritual guidance in a lot of ways. Now think about this. Think about what kind of niches that kind of value could be used in. I mean, if you're helping somebody with clarity and awareness and personal development, like Tanisha is, I mean, how many different niches, how many different markets could there be for clarity, awareness, and personal development? I mean, in career, in self-development, in relationships. I mean, you could go on and on and on with niches. And coaches a lot of times focus on, okay, I need my niche, I need to get my niche, that kind of thing. It's like, well, first you need to get your value. Your value, if there's no value, you could go to a niche and market yourself all day, and it's not going to be very helpful, right? So this not only helps you to get your first paid client, but also it'll help you later as you begin to look at possible niches and start to look to expand and scale up your coaching business as well. So really great answers, guys. Awesome work. Awesome work. Okay, let's go ahead and I think we're going to move on to this next subject before we move to step 3. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and move on to this other area that I promised I was going to cover tonight, which is I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how to get your first paid clients fast and make it feel natural for you. And obviously this is part of this action plan, and we're going to come back to the action plan in a second. But I want to tell you a little bit of a story before I do. There was a time in my coaching business when I was really struggling, and I was so busy doing what everybody else told me to do, like create this marketing and set up a website and get certified and do all these different things. And none of it was really working. And I finally said, you know what? I need to find a way that I'm going to be able to make it feel natural for me to get paying clients. And I found a way to do it, but I didn't understand what it was until years later. I didn't understand what I was doing even until years later. So I kind of found it by necessity. And then I remember years ago, I was walking with my girlfriend at the time at a mall. And if you live in Southern California, you're probably familiar with the Spectrum Center in Irvine. It's this really beautiful outside mall. It's got this great big theater and all these sushi places and just really, really cool shops. We were just walking around kind of aimlessly, and we walked past this shop called Rocky Mountain Chocolate Factory. And it's like a candy store, right? They got candied apples and chocolate and caramel corn. You just all the usual suspects, right? And we were not in the market for sweets that day. But as we walked past, we noticed somebody was standing out front with the apron on and everything, and they were obviously worked there, and they had a tray of free goodies. And so it's like, we're not going to pass that up, right? So we go over there and we start eating off the tray, and we're like, well, we're right there, and everything smelled really good. And so we said, well, we're right in front. Well, why don't we walk in? We were right at the door because we had to go up there to get the free sample, right? So we walk in the door. And we look around, and guess what? On the shelves, there's more free samples. And so we start grabbing some more samples, and trying all their different stuff. And some of it was really good. We said, well, we got to get some more of that. And it was like, we didn't want to steal all the samples, right? So we actually, bought some of this stuff. And ultimately, long story short, we walked out of there with like $25 worth of candy. We weren't even in the market for candy that day. And yet here we are walking out with candy. And I thought about that. I was like, that's pretty powerful. And I thought, what happened there? what exactly happened? And I realized that what happened was what I had been doing for years. They gave me a free sample and then invited me in to have more and got me to the point where I realized the value of what I was getting, the taste of it. I had a chance to taste it, to smell it, to experience it, to enjoy just a little taste, right? And then I didn't want to give it up. I didn't want to miss out on the fulfillment of the rest of the value that I knew I could get at that point. It was proven to me by the free sample. And I realized, oh my God, that's what I do. What I do is I give people a sample of my coaching. I give them a chance to taste it. I give them the value of that, and then I invite them to go ahead and get the rest. I just give them a taste. Right? Just give them one session. Maybe a session with a follow-up. But then it's time for them to sign up for coaching. And coaching is a paid service. So I realized that the way I had built my entire coaching business was by coaching. Not by selling, not by marketing, not by writing a bunch of books, not by doing SEO, not by all this fancy stuff that we could do still. It's all great. But just by coaching. I did it by coaching. And so I share that story around Rocky Mountain Chocolate Factory because their free sample process was actually kind of the same as mine. And if you ever go to like a grocery store, that's what they're doing. You don't think they're just giving that food away just because they're nice people. And they're probably nice people too. I mean, you see there's all these industries that are offering this now. I mean, Groupon is practically a free sample. And, they've created a billion-dollar business based upon that, right? So ultimately, what to do here is offer a free sample session or something that gives them a taste of what you provide, a real good sense of the value of what you provide in coaching. Really actually getting them some type of measurable result, or at least a little victory, like a little bit of a victory and experience of what you can do for them. And then invite them to go ahead and sign up for coaching, assuming that they got the value. If they didn't get any value, then it's probably that's pretty much the end of it. But assuming you gave them value in that session, it's like, hey, you got a lot of value here. You're set up to move to the next level. The goals that you have, the vision that you have, the challenge that you're facing. My suggestion for you is to go ahead and sign up for coaching at this level with these sessions, and we continue this conversation so we can handle this, 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 and this. That's not really that complicated to have that conversation. You do want to be a great coach, because that's going to give them the value. The rest, it's pretty straightforward. And yeah, there's some ways to improve the effectiveness that you can have with that conversation, no doubt. But the beginning is just offering the value, the free sample, and having them sign up for more. So, those coaches that I shared with you just a second ago, I'll come back to the slide here. Those coaches that, within a year or less were at basically full practices. Some of these were six-figure incomes that these coaches were at. And many other coaches that at least got started and got some clients and got some momentum there. This happened as a result of exactly what I'm talking about. Every one of these coaches used a free session process that we have used and taught and proven again and again and again. They all use the same process, and all of them, like I said before, ended up building that practice, using that process, and getting between 10 and 30 clients and filling their practices. And so that's really like the first secret to building that practice is utilize the free sampling process. There's other things you can do. I'm going to share a couple with them, or a couple of them with you. We don't have time to get into that much detail about these for the interest of time, but I'm going to share them with you. The first one is, and we really kind of just talked about this, do free sessions, but I'm going to give you a goal. I'm going to offer you kind of a an intense and extraordinary outcome for the beginning of your coaching business, which is set a goal to run 100 free sessions. Set a goal to run not just a couple, just dip your toe in the water, but run 100 of them. If you do that, you're going to have a completely different experience in your coaching business. You'll have clients from that. You'll have referrals. You will not have the same challenges, questions, uncertainty that you have now, just by running those sessions. Now, it might take you a while to get there, right? But that's really the goal. You don't have to even worry that much about signing people up and getting paid clients, although there's a process for that too, obviously. Run the sessions. You'll get to the point where you start wanting to charge because you're spending so much time running free sessions. Beyond that, also get several clients that you know you're not going to charge them. Maybe they're family, maybe they're close friends, and just coach them for free. Give them complimentary coaching, and do it ongoingly, not just once. And they'll give you a chance to really practice your skill and raise your confidence level, whether or not you got a certificate. So, do 100 free sessions. Those are like one-time sessions, and then get 3 to 5 complimentary clients that you're just going to coach ongoingly, whether they pay you or not. Sometimes those are more challenging clients because they don't have as much flesh in the game. And you'll learn a lot. Whether or not you are perfectly effective with those clients, you'll learn a ton about how to get results with them and what kind of challenges you face. And with some clients, you'll find that you're able to get them started with coaching by charging a very, very reasonable fee, and we'll talk about that in a second, and then increasing their charges as you go, as they're getting better results, especially if you're really helping them. Going out there and speaking. This is one of the business models that we teach in the Quick Start Coaching Code. Get out there and actually speak. Speak in front of groups. Speak in front of anybody who will listen. Speak at the library. Speak at your local your local grocery store. Speak at the local the local bookstore. Speak at Rotary. Speak at any group that'll listen. Networking groups. We in some of our more advanced programs we cover like 50 or 60 different places in any local area that you can get speaking engagements, right? But when you speak, you become an authority figure. You tend to show your greatest value at that point, and of course you have a bunch of people that are there checking you out at that time. So the 1 hour that you spend doing that, if you've got we have 50 or so on the webinar right now. You've got 50 times the result for the 1 hour. It's like 50 hours of work that you did because they're all listening all at once. They're participating at once. They're getting the value all at once, right? So speaking is gigantic for that purpose. It's a credibility and authority thing, but it's also got lots of leverage for you to reach a lot of people with just one action. Very, very powerful to do that. By the way, at the end of speaking, you can offer a free session, and get a ton of, if you speak in front of 100 people, you can get your 100 free sessions set, in like an hour, basically. So it's pretty powerful. Find partners. We call this joint ventures. There are people out there that already have your customers, that already have your clients, that already have more clients that they know what to do with. And they're not interested in doing one-on-one coaching with them a lot of times. They're busy building their business to the next level, right? And, we've partnered with so many different really great partners over the years. And I would say that over half our clients came from partnerships. And, there was 1 year where we had 3,000 clients that we coached via partnerships. Partnerships are very, very, very important. And they're not the end-all be-all necessarily, but we've found that they're tremendously valuable. Now, by the way, when you combine your ability to do a really powerful free session with partnerships, then your partner finds you even more valuable because if they, let's say, even can generate interested people, they're not selling coaching, let's say, but they just have a lot of customers that maybe are going to their trainings or consulting clients, or some other type of group, and they know that you can turn an interested prospective coaching client into a paying client, you're going to get all their business. So very, very powerful to combine these skills together. And then finally, one of the best ways that you can get tons of clients if you know what you're doing, we work with a lot of our students on this, is the internet. You know, I know I talked about the internet in kind of a down way, you know, probably 20 minutes ago or 30 minutes ago, but you know, the internet really makes this entire process effortless. If you really get good at adding value, you can do that over the internet to thousands of people. One of the reasons why we have so many clients and students is because we've used the internet as a leverage vehicle. You know, we've had students that within just several months have built what I like to call an internet client machine, and they set it up right. We guide them in doing that, and within 3-4 months they had their first paying client from that, and then it just keeps going, and they repeat it again and again and again. If you have to labor in order to get every single client that you're ever going to have, you know, it can get kind of old after a while. You know, eventually, you know, it's one of those beautiful things that you can do for yourself in your own time, in your own sanity, and your own enjoyment and creativity to free yourself up where you're not chasing clients, where you just have clients come to you. And I feel so blessed to be in a position where we've built these client machines in many different niches now with my team helping me as well. And we have been able to generate hundreds of clients, not thousands, without me lifting a finger, really, because the machine is doing the work. You know, now it takes a lot of work to set that up, but once it's set up, it's just incredible what you can provide with that and how many people you can reach, literally a world market. So we've covered a lot here. I'm going to come back to our action plan, and let's get back to what the next step is. So we talked about clarify your coaching value. And we talked about a lot of ways that you can enter into a coaching relationship, speaking and partnerships and internet and free sessions. But we got to get to the brass tacks if you're going to get your first paid client. So step 3 in this process is to list your potential first clients. Your potential first clients. So the intention, pretty straightforward, to identify who will likely pay, to have you coach them immediately. Who's going to pay to coach them immediately? We're looking for people that you're not going to have to work with for like 6 months in order to have them pay for coaching. So there's no perfect formula for this, right? Everybody's got a different market. But these are the attributes of people who will likely pay you for coaching. And these individuals that are going to pay you for coaching, they don't have to have all these attributes. They can just have 1 or 2, right? So first attribute, they can't say no to you. If you have people in your life that can't say no to you, ask them to sign up for coaching with you. That's pretty straightforward. The first clients, a lot of times, that our students are able to sign up for paid coaching are the people in their life that can't say no to them, right? And most of us have these individuals, people that we already have influence with, people that really care for us, love us, want the best for us, want the best for our relationship, and they just, that's like they have trouble saying no. They kind of can't say no to us. Now, again, you got to do this ethically. You can't just twist somebody's arm and have them doing something that is not good for them and not a fair deal for them. So you really want to be responsible for that before you go ahead and offer them coaching. But if you know it's going to make a difference, it's going to be a really, really good deal, then yeah, that's a great attribute of one of your first clients. And there's not a million of those individuals, so you can very well get a couple clients out of just somebody with that attribute. Second attribute for people who will likely pay you for coaching. they have money. They have money. If the only people that you're talking to have no money, well, they're probably not going to be a paying coaching client, right? So that's a pretty important attribute. No, that kind of goes without saying, but you'd be amazed how many coaches I talk to that struggle with getting a paying client, and they talk to me all about these people that they're running sessions with and all this stuff, and none of them have any money. It's like, well, that's your problem right there, right? You need to be working with people that have money, right? And I don't mean that you can't give pro bono coaching, and I don't mean that, you know, if you're going to run a free session, oh, this person doesn't have a lot of money, and so just don't run the free session. But there's a focus here, you know, that's important in order to actually have a real paying client. They got to have money if they're going to pay you. That's a pretty straightforward element there. Okay, third attribute of people who will likely pay you for coaching. They already value personal growth. They already value personal growth. You want to write these in your action plan if you've got that with you. They already value personal growth. One of the great places to get coaching clients is personal growth seminars, personal growth programs, personal growth masterminds. There are a few of those out there, and they're filled with thousands of people, right? In fact, Aji, who is on our little list back here, if you saw him, yeah, there's Aji. The first clients that he got were from those seminars, where you just go to seminars, and the seminar would pay for itself by him, connecting and networking with people that just you knew they value personal growth because they were at the seminar, right? There are different groups of individuals that value personal growth very highly, and there are also groups that don't. What you don't want to waste your time on, or at least initially in your coaching business, to get a paying client at least, is chasing after people that really don't want to grow. That's gonna be a hard road to hoe. Fourth attribute, people that need help. If somebody you're talking to or a group that you're talking to, people that you're focusing on really don't need any help, then they may or may not have motivation to work with you. Now, there are a lot of clients that don't need help but are great coaching clients. Some of the top coaching clients in the world are people that they don't really need help. They want help, right? So this one, again, there are people that are exceptional that you're going to love to work with. But your first client, a lot of times, is going to be somebody who really does need help. And you're their last chance for gas because they don't know a bunch of other coaches. So reach out to them, make a difference for them, and get paid in the process. Fifth, they look up to you. You've got people in your life that look up to you. Those are individuals that are likely to become a paying client if you want to utilize that. If you want to take advantage of the fact that they look up to you. Chances are nobody is going to sign up for your coaching that doesn't think that you have something that they want. I'll say that again. People don't sign up for coaching with people that don't have anything they want. And generally speaking, if you've got something that I'm after, if you have an experience in life, emotionally, spiritually, physically, relationship-wise, in terms of your finances, anything that you've got something that I want, I don't have it right now. If you've got that, I'm probably going to be interested in signing up for coaching with you. If you don't have that, I'm not really a good prospect for you. So they look up to you. You've got something they want. Okay, next. People that are likely to pay you for coaching as a first client is they owe you, if I can get this in the right place, they owe you a favor. We'll talk about the technique of that in just a second, but somebody that owes you a favor, very likely to be one of your first paying clients. We'll talk about exactly how that works in a second. But if somebody owes you a favor, it makes sense. It's like you could actually call in that favor to generate a coaching relationship that's actually paying you back, right? Again, I'm not saying to utilize these as to manipulate somebody in a negative way. But what I am saying is that, this is a likely attribute of somebody who is probably going to become one of your first paying clients. And then finally, seventh, they already got coaching from you. They already got coaching from you. I apologize for the formatting here, you'll see, but they already got coaching from you. If you've already coached them, very likely to become one of your first paid clients. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean that you probably have been coaching people for quite a while for free, without getting paid. So if you already coach those individuals for free, they're very likely to become a paid client because they already gave you time to coach them. Most people will not give you their money unless they first are willing to give you their time. Say that again. That's a really important distinction. Most people will not be willing to give you their money, become a paid client, unless they first are willing to give you their time. So if somebody took time to get coaching from you already, even if it's years ago, they're going to have a much higher likelihood to become one of your potential, they at least have the potential to become a first client for you. Okay, so think about who are your first potential clients. Think about where on this list those people fall. What kind of criteria are they meeting? What are the attributes of your first paid clients? And if you can, type in the chat. You don't have to know like somebody's name or something like that, but who might be some of your first clients? Who's a likely first client for you? What type of person? What are their attributes? Where do they fit in? What type of people? What niches might they be in? Type it in the chat right now if you're still alive, if you're still breathing. Who can you think of that might be the type of person that would be a first paid client? Yeah, previous partners, previous business partners, ex-boss. Yeah, absolutely. People that already look up to you, already owe you a favor, people that have already gotten coaching from you, right? These are they're within those realms probably. We've got somebody, struggling to lose weight. We've got a particular niche. They need help. That's covered under number 4. People in the church. That's very specific niche. They probably value personal growth to some extent. Spiritual growth, personal growth, some overlap there. People we work with at your old job, if they have a job, they probably have money, right? Career transitions, chances are they're going to need some help with that. And they probably value a certain amount of growth because they're making that transition, right? So really great answers, guys. Are you getting this? Is this making sense? Let me know if it's not, because I want to make sure that this is hitting home. I'm trying to keep it as simple as possible so that you don't just get caught up in doing a bunch of different stuff. You could literally just after this webinar just go do this stuff and get a paid client. And you might. And by the way, if you don't believe that now, you're probably going to believe it in the next couple of minutes because of the next step that we're going to go through. Okay. So in fact, speaking of the next step, let's go ahead and go to it. So step 4, offer coaching. So we've got our list now, right? We've got our list of potentials or probables. Excuse me. And so now is the time to offer them coaching. The intent of this step, pretty straightforward, to invite your highest potentials for becoming paid clients to engage with you in a coaching relationship. Now, by the way, notice I didn't say run a free session. In these particular conversations, I'm not going to tell you run a free session with these guys. So, because most of the time, with the right type of offer that you're about to make, and we're going to talk about that in a second, you won't need to run a session. You just need to have a conversation with them. Short conversation, and you're good to go. This is like the one exception to my rule of running free sessions with just about any prospect. Some of them you might. Some of them you might end up running free sessions with before you run a paid session. But in this area, it's kind of 50-50. It's like many of them, it's better not to run a free session. And I think this will become more clear as to why in a second. So there's 3 possible approaches. And, different clients are going to fall into different categories. In this first category, the I need your help category. These are individuals where you just don't know how you're going to help them, and you have no clear understanding of what your coaching value is to them yet. Or there's somebody who, even though you know how you're going to help them, you know that if you told them that how much help you're going to be, they wouldn't be able to hear it. Like, maybe it's an ego thing for them. It's like, hey, who are you to help me? Or they don't want to ask for help. It's like a moral or ethical thing, something like that. Like, they don't want to deal with that, like, getting help. They don't want to accept contribution from someone else. They don't want to accept help. For that type of individual, and there's plenty of them in our lives, most of us know a lot of them that we really could help, they would fall into this category. These are the individuals that, you want to take the I need your help approach with those guys. So either people you don't know how you're going to help, people that you know that they wouldn't really want to receive an offer for help, or just people that you're really close to that actually like to help you. They want to help you. Or if that person is just really, really helpful, they're all about helping everybody else. This approach would go really, really well. So here's what you're going to do. In the I need your help approach, you're going to ask them to help you with a breakthrough. You're going to ask them to help you with a breakthrough. Let me get this down here. With a breakthrough that you need to achieve in your coaching business. You're going to ask them to help you with a breakthrough you need to achieve in your coaching business. Namely, this breakthrough is getting paid to coach. If you haven't had a first paid client yet, the breakthrough you need is to get a paying client, right? It's a real easy one, or at least a real simple one. So go to these individuals that are within that kind of that target list and ask them to help you with a breakthrough that you need to achieve in your coaching business. This is about you helping them. This is about you helping them. So ask them to help you with a breakthrough you need to achieve in your coaching business. This is about you, I'm sorry. I got that totally twisted around. That's what happens when you don't have slides. This is about them helping you. I need some help, clearly, on this one. So this is about them helping you. All right, ask them to help you with a breakthrough that you need to achieve in your coaching business, i.e. getting paid to coach. That's the breakthrough you're looking for. And this one is all about them helping you out, not about you helping them. I'm always thinking about us helping other people. I just automatically put that in the blanks. Any help that they get is going to be a bonus in this area. Right? So focus on that they're going to help you out. How are they helping you? By paying you to coach them. Because it's never happened for you before. You need to achieve that breakthrough. And they don't need to do it forever. But if they would be willing to pay you a certain amount for 1 month or 1 session or whatever it's going to be, just to have you coach them, then you would achieve a certain breakthrough. And you'd love to help them too, but really this is something you need from them for you. You're like going to them like being selfish, so to speak. Now, by the way, this might seem like, okay, I don't want to be selfish or something, but with these guys, they love that because you need something from them. And for someone with any kind of ego, or someone who just likes to help, or someone who's got an issue about getting help, usually giving help is what they're all about, right? For a lot of us, it's like that. It's like coaches have that issue, right? It's like, oh no, I don't want to help anybody. I got to help everybody else, right? Well, we all need help, It's like coaches are some of the people that need coaching the most a lot of times. So anyway, this is about them helping you. I hope that makes sense. Can you imagine that you're just talking to certain people in your life that you talk to like this that are, you're like, hey, I need your help. I'm I'm starting my coaching business. I've never been paid to coach before, and I just need a breakthrough in this area. Would you be open to paying me this small amount to do a session or to do a month of coaching? It's never happened for me, and if you'd be willing to do that, I'd love to help you, but more important to me, in this transaction because I know that you're already really successful, and I know you don't need any help or something like that. It would really make a difference for me. I think it would have such an impact on me. Is that something you'd be open to at least discussing? Right. So yes, you have to ask for them for help in this one, and for some of us that's a bit of a struggle. But when you're able to do that, and it's just a conversation. It's just you just got to be willing to open your mouth and ask. If you can do that with people, and do it with people you're comfortable with, not somebody you're uncomfortable with asking like that. People that are close to you, family, friends, business associates, past boss, whatever. People that you could call in a favor. You could ask them for that, and it wouldn't bother you one bit. It would be like people were used to asking stuff, asking for stuff from. That type of individual, right? And within that list, this is a very powerful approach. Okay, let's move on to approach number 2. Now, this approach is like for the opposite. This approach is for individuals that are willing to accept help, or the ego wouldn't get in the way. They really do need help. Somebody like that. And so this is the I have an idea approach. And in the I have an idea approach, you're going to talk about the issue that they face. You're going to talk about the issue they face and how you think that coaching would actually help them. So talk about the issue they face and how you think coaching would help. And now I'm going to be right if I had said the second one first. This is about you helping them. This is about you helping them. So you're overtly coming out there and saying, hey, look, I have an idea. You've got this challenge in your marriage. And, each day you come home, you get kind of an argument, and then you kind of go sulk. And it's hard on the kids. And I know you're struggling with that. And I know some of the things that you can do. But I think that it would be a real opportunity for you to work with me on some of those techniques a little bit more deeply, have some accountability about actually doing it so you actually get it done, because I'm going to guide you and work with you on a regular basis for that, and then see how it goes, and so you can improve that step by step by step. And I can see that coaching here, and here would help you in that area. And so here's my offer for you if you're interested, or my invitation to you. I'd be willing to do this. As a coach, I'm very new. Be willing to charge you $50 just, for this month to do that. If you'd like to continue at that rate, great. But if not, that's totally fine. And I really think it could make a difference with kind of getting you over that hump. What do you think? Right? Is that something you're interested in talking about? Right? You're just making an offer for them. The opportunity for them is not for them to help you now, although you could talk about that too. You could kind of straddle the fence. This offer is about you actually helping them. You're bringing up what's going on. You're calling attention to it. You're not, brushing the dirt under the rug here. You're bringing it up, right? And this isn't just about, judging them or talking about their problems or something. It could be a big goal. It could be like, look, I have an idea. You have this goal to make $1 million this year, and you're working so hard and doing this and this and this. And, I think there's an opportunity for, if I provided you some coaching on a pretty regular basis, that you could have this, and this by these value. You talk about the value that coaching would bring right there. Is that something you'd be interested in talking about? Because I'd really love to support you. And I'd charge you something. I don't know. Maybe I'd charge you $100 a month, right? Whatever it is. That's the I have an idea conversation. And for individuals who are willing to accept help, ego wouldn't get in the way, or you'd be comfortable enough talking about the problems, the goals, the challenges, the outcomes that they have, their desires, well, then that's a perfect approach. It's a really, really great approach. So the third approach, this one is more for somebody who you're not sure where they fall into. Like, you're not sure if they're a number 1 or approach number 2. And this is the big news approach. It's a little bit more generic. So this is called big news, and it goes like this. You're going to let them know, when you approach them, you're going to let them know that you're now a coach. You're like, look, I'm a coach now. I just became a coach. And that you like to coach them for a short time. You're just letting them know, hey, I'm a coach. I'd love to work with you. Really, really simple invitation. It's kind of a generic invitation. Now, this situation, as I just mentioned, this is neutral. And it's probably best if you don't know whether approach number 1 or number 2 is best. So this situation is neutral. It's like you don't know if they're willing to accept help or they're not. You don't maybe know them well enough to necessarily ask them to help you, let's say, or you're not comfortable with that. Okay, take the big news approach. Hey, I got big news. I just became a coach. And, what I'm interested, I just wanted to talk to you about it just for a second because I think that I'd love to work with you. I'd love to work with you. Is that something you'd be interested in at least talking about? I'd charge you, I don't know, $50 a month. Whatever it is. And you just start the conversation right there, see how they respond, right? This is also good for people that you're not as deeply connected to, so you haven't been able to assess whether they're an I have an idea or an I need your help group, let's say. I got a question on this one. How would you answer the question, what is a coach? As I start to, okay. There's a lot of ways to answer that. It kind of depends on what kind of coach you are, right? But generically, the answer to that question is a coach is someone who works with you to produce the kind of results that you'd like to have in life, including overcoming challenges and issues, problems, and getting clear on your goals, moving towards them, providing momentum and accountability towards taking action on that, and ultimately achieving the dreams that you're after. A coach is someone who's there to support you in that process of achieving what you're after in life, in your business, in your weight problem, in your marriage, in blah, 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 blah. You get the idea, right? So coach is there for support in results. That's it. Now, coaching as a process is also a process of saying, well, what's coaching? Or what's executive coaching? Or what's life coaching? Well, coaching is a process through which you have conversations with your coach, and as a result of that, you get results you never would have had if you hadn't had those conversations. This is what we call miracles, right? It's like stuff that is unimaginable and unforeseen had you not had that one conversation, right? Yeah, Gerard says, help with transitions in life, right? Generically, again, whether somebody's transitioning or not, generically, the key word there is help, right? A coach is there to, and we maybe don't use the word help, I don't know, I mean, it's up to your dogma, right? But you can say, hey, a coach helps people produce results. Oh, well, I'm going through transitions. Oh yeah, we help with transitions, that's right, right? Or the process of coaching helps you produce a result or supports you in producing a result. It's kind of the highest level. Again, we could get real technical on what is coaching, what's not coaching, and all the competencies and all that kind of stuff. And you want to be like a coaching nerd, a coaching geek, then go through our ICF credentialing program, and you will be able to rattle off every single freaking thing that coaching is and is not, right? But for those of us that are trying to get a client here, coaching is a process through which you get results that you wouldn't have gotten had you not gone through the process of unpredictable results, unanticipated results. The results that you're after that you're stuck doing, those are the kind of results you'll get when you're in coaching. A coach is someone who facilitates that coaching process or facilitates you getting the results that you would want. So yeah, if they ask you that, that's basically what it is. And even if you didn't have that answer, you could still get a first paying client out of this because they really don't need to know what it is to pay you for it. They just need to know that they're going to get results through that process, which is really what that's why notice we did not have a step called figure out what coaching is and how it works. We have a step called overcome psychological barriers. We have a step called clarify the value of it. So in fact, I would probably recommend you focus on that when you have these conversations. It's like, what is coaching? Well, in coaching, you take action you normally wouldn't take. Your client would make new decisions. You'd make new decisions that add value to your life. You become more aware and clear on issues that impact your life. There you go, right? So instead of talking what it is, talk about why it would be important to be a part of that. Now they're listening. Now they're a lot more excited. So does that make sense? You getting the sense that this is not about what it is as much as it is about how it, not even how it works, but how it's like what's going to be so helpful out of that. Why it's important to do it. So imagine having those conversations. We want to be talking about, when we talk to people about coaching, we don't want to be talking about us and who we are and our process and our expertise. We want to be talking about what they want, what they're after, what the value is for them, the opportunity for them. We want to keep it there. So you do that, you're golden. You really are golden. I mean, you're doing what half the coaches out there that are struggling, aren't able to do. They just haven't figured it out for whatever reason. I guess they haven't seen this action plan. Right? So anyway, that's Offer Coaching. 3 options. I have an idea, big news, or I need your help, or all of the above. You could probably do a hybrid of those if you really need to. So once you've done that and you got a yes, then it's time to get paid. Now, before you approach somebody, you're going to have a pricing strategy, and we'll talk about that right now. The intention of the get paid step, this is real complex, is to get paid. The intention of the step is to get paid. The get paid step, the intention is to get paid. Enough said about that one. And to get paid before the coaching relationship begins. You're not waiting till afterwards. You're not waiting for some check to clear. You're going to get paid before the coaching relationship begins. This is pretty important. I'm not going to get into too much detail about why that's the case, but you should be getting paid before you start. Let's put it that way. And hopefully that'll have you excited too. Hey, I got paid and I haven't even done anything yet. Sometimes that can be even a little disconcerting, but get over it if that's the case. So, pricing strategy. First, you must initially price your coaching fees at an amount that your client, sorry, let me get to my notes here so I know what I'm saying. I'll start over. You must initially price your coaching fees at an amount that your client will have no qualms, fancy word, no qualms about paying. You must initially price, this is not end all be all, but you must initially price your coaching fees at an amount that your client will have no qualms about paying. No qualms about paying. You don't want to, and I've seen a lot of coaches make this big mistake. They go out into the coaching world, and they've made their target list, and they start talking to people, and they're like, I want 10 clients, and so I don't want to go over 10, so I need to charge $1,000 a month for each client, and I'll make $10,000 a month once I have a full practice. They never get any clients. Because guess what? Most people are going to have qualms about paying $1,000 a month, especially from a brand new coach. That's just not really the most intelligent approach, at least in my opinion. So you must initially price your coaching fees at an amount that your client will have no qualms about paying. Find a fee for them, I don't care who they are, but whatever their financial status is, no qualms about paying that particular fee. That's the fee. If you think they're going to have qualms about it, lower the fee. Lower it until it's like, oh, they're not going to have any qualms about paying that. If you have to get your fee down to $1 to get them to have no qualms about paying it, that's your fee for them. You still got paid. Now, you're going to want to do that forever? No, but you're a paid coach now. You've made that transition. Could you go from $1 to $2? From 2 to 4 or 4 to 10? And then eventually go from 10 to 25 or 50? Yeah. Can you go to 0 to 500 a month? Probably not. So we're trying to make this a smooth transition for you and make it a doable transition from not getting paid to getting paid. The way to do that, it's not a big difference between, there's a little bit of a comfort level, but there's not a big difference between paying nothing to get coaching and paying $1, right? It's still $1. $1 is $1, right? But so it's real. It's really getting paid. It's really them paying. So you're going to deal with the psychology of that. You're going to deal with any barriers you hit up against to cross those. But you then got paid. Now raising what you're already getting paid, that's not that hard. Coaches do that all the time. But very few coaches go from I'm not a paid coach to I'm a paid coach. This gets you past that. So they should have no qualms about paying that. Money shouldn't be a factor in their decision to start coaching with you. Should not be an issue. Are they paying you? Yes. Is it a factor? No. Hopefully that's clear. Your initial fee should be more than affordable. Your initial fee should be more than affordable. It should be, and what I mean by that is it should be even better than just affordable. This is not about affordable coaching. This should be an offer that your client would have to be crazy to pass up. That they'd have to be sorry, I'm screwing up my typing here. They'd have to be crazy to pass it up. That's the kind of offer you need to be giving. If you're not giving that offer, make it that offer and adjust the money accordingly. This is about just getting your first paid client or clients, not getting rich off of coaching yet. We'll work on that later. We got to crawl before we can walk. Does this make sense? Can you imagine charging a fee that is so reasonable, is so not just affordable, but that client would have to be crazy to pass up, be comfortable with having that conversation, and having them be at a point where it's like, wow, that's a no-brainer. Sure, here you go. Even if they didn't know what kind of coach you are and how great a motivator you are or something like that. You know, Todd's asking, what's the average on pricing? It kind of depends on the niche, really, Todd. Like in our niches that we work with, we do a lot of entrepreneur, business owner, executive coaching, things like that. Our coaches generally make $50 to $100 an hour. So it kind of depends on how those sessions play out. And we will generally charge at least $300 a month, a little under $300 a month at a minimum for any coaching program that we'll run with those niches. We've charged as much as $1,500 a month for programs that we've run as well. So yeah, that's a pretty wide range that we've done, and that's just literally same niches, right? So you could have like a different niche and you could be much lower than that. We know some coaches that charge $100 a month that they don't go much higher than that, right? Do a session or two, they're making $40 an hour, $30 an hour, $50 an hour, something like that, right? Then we know coaches that are charging $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a month as well. Okay, good. I'm glad that answered that. So the point of the pricing strategy is that it's got to fit these criteria. That's what you're going after. And if you look at your prospect straight in the eyes and you know that they're not going to pay you $100 a month for coaching, but you think 50 probably getting around there, then keep lowering it until they feel like they'd be crazy to pass it up. And then you're at the fee that I want you to charge them. Just for starters, just to get the client. We just don't want money to be an issue right now. Okay, we want what am I doing with you? And why is that value? Oh, okay, got it. Yeah, okay, here you go. Here's $20. Great, you're done. You got a paid client. Rinse and repeat. Let me tell you something. You're going to get that fee up quickly because you're going to get 5, 10 clients like that. And you're going to be like, wait a second, I'm making $15 an hour. I need to start charging more, right? And then you're going to get momentum and you're going to move up the ladder of your fees. And that's a different conversation. That's not about getting your first paid clients. Okay, final step. We made it. Start coaching. And the intention is just to give your client 10 times more value than whatever fee they paid. And these are the approaches that we actually teach in Quick Start Coaching Code. These are the fundamentals, the foundations of, in my opinion at least, what provides valuable coaching to anybody, anytime, anywhere, and giving massive value in the process. The first is diagnosis, understanding your client's desires and their barriers. Understanding their desires and barriers. If you know what they want and you know what's preventing them from getting what they want, bam, you've diagnosed. You know, now you're in really good shape to move on to these other elements of coaching. Action coaching. You could call it accountability. It's basically coaching so as to help your client or support your client in taking actions they would never have taken had they not been in coaching. That's miracles right there. They did something they never would have done had you not showed up. You've got the magic wand for them, basically. That's pretty miraculous. Outer game coaching is helping them with strategy and working with them on how they're going to get a result. That's all the outer game. Time management, strategic planning, all that good stuff. Inner game coaching, working on their psychology, their emotions, their spirit, their motivation, their internal issues and barriers and stops. That's all inner game coaching. It's more of the kind of like the self-development, self-growth, personal development side, or psychology coaching if you want to call it that. You combine these together, you're going to be an awesome coach. You know, you may not be the best coach in the world, but you're probably going to be one of the best coaches that your clients have ever met as well. So that's it. That's all you got to do. So here's my invitation to you for this plan, is now that you've got the answers here, go do this. You know, in the next 2 days, 3 days, 10 days, whatever it is, take these steps. Actually take these actions. Go prove to yourself and me that you can get a paying client. I tell you what, since we're off slides already, and I lost the slides basically with my wonderful technical ability, I'll make you an offer. You show me that you got a paying client in the next 7 days, like during this launch, I will pay you $100 towards your participation in the Quick Start Coaching Code program. So if you're going to sign up for the program, and this is apart from the offer that we're going to make for this launch, I'll give you that on top of that. But you got to prove it, right? You can't just tell me, hey, I got a paying client. Like, I need to see, you know, I need to be convinced, right, that you actually got a paying client. But I'll send you a check for $100. How's that for a deal? And why would I do that? First of all, it's just kind of a cool thing because, you know, it's like if we're going to work together, let's scratch each other's back, right? But the other thing is, I wanna. It's like this is the first time we've done this. Like we had this plan, right? But we've shared it with our students and the Quick Start program participants, and we've shared it in different ways. This is the first time we've really shared this in public. And you know, if you're not already a student of ours, then you know, it's a free. It's a webinar that we're doing, and it's like, okay, you can kind of go in one ear and out the other. But I really want to encourage action on this because I know it works. I really want to encourage you to get this started because there's nothing stopping you. There's no reason to wait till next year, wait till you got this other thing or this certificate or something like that. You know, now's the time. So it's worth $100 to you. You know, at least if you're going to be working with us. And even if you're not working with us, let me know that you got your first paid client. I'd love to hear the kind of results that you got from this. Now look, I think it goes without saying, I mean, I said this earlier, that I'm going to share with you a bit of an invitation to work with us in the Quick Start Coaching Code. And, we've got plenty of, I mean, I'm not even going to run through all of the stories of the different coaches that we work with. We've already talked about some of these, but I am going to cover how the Quick Start Coaching Code works, what's included, and how to apply. Guys, looks like there's a few of you that are having trouble with audio, so please hold on just 1 second. Let me see if I can get that handled, okay? Okay, so you should now hear me. I apologize. I must have hit the wrong button. So just hold on 1 second. Let me make sure that my technical prowess has not stopped our webinar in its tracks. So hold 1 second. Okay, so you should now hear me. Okay, thanks, Beth. All right, great. I'm having a really interesting technical day. But anyway, so I'm going to share this with you, right? I'm going to share a little bit about how Quick Start works, what's included, how do you apply, all of that. Before I talk about it, I do want to clarify one thing that a lot of times I'll talk to new coaches and they'll say, I can get this going without your help. And you know what? You might be right. But here's the problem. What we find is that, you can go use this plan today and go get a paying client. The challenge is when you start to get results, as you do that, eventually you hit a plateau. And that might be a matter of not feeling the pressure to move forward or the momentum. That might be a matter of getting, through the first couple clients and not knowing what to do next. That might be a challenge of like what strategy should you be using, what business model to use, the speaking model or the internet model or the coaching model. It might be a matter of like, okay, now I went through the easy ones. Now, what about these harder conversations? How do I have those? It's different for everybody, but everybody hits a plateau. It could be on day 2 or day 200 of your coaching business. And pretty soon, you got some initial results, but ultimately the lack of support or the lack of expert help actually costs you your motivation or costs you your next client or costs you the strategy that you need to pull it to the next level. I just see this again and again. This is not like I talked about in that video about a week ago, this is not a McDonald's, right? This is not just, okay, here's the thing, you got it, and just rinse and repeat. There's so many differences that could happen within every coaching business. We got to treat each one differently. That's why we personally work with you on getting this thing launched. You miss the next strategy, you miss the details, you miss something. There's something you're going to miss. Something's going to get you. And I don't want that to happen to you. You can't let yourself think with that kind of thinking that's like, I could just try to do this on my own for a while and it'll just work out. You're probably very successful already. You're probably very happy, very evolved compared to most people on this planet, or you wouldn't be on this webinar, right? So you got to feel good about yourself for that, and you should. But that's the problem. That's the trap. Because it's that same level of thinking that's gotten you to this great level is never going to get you the level that you really want. You have to let go of everything you've hung on to, everything you think has made yourself so successful, to step out and find out what the next level is. And if you don't, you're trapped at this level. And pretty soon it's like the level gets boring, and then it's rotten, and then it's like, why did I even do this in the first place? And we're not even doing what we were meant to do, what we were put here for. You can't let yourself think that way. You've got to break through anything that's held you back. Let go of all the old thinking and take on the kind of support, help, and conversations and strategies that you really need to make this happen. And in fact, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, but in my opinion, it's a responsibility that we have to know what we're doing and to really master getting this thing launched so we really can help others and not be hypocritical. It's like I'm there, hey, everybody I know should get coaching, and I'm going to give them coaching. But I'm not going to get coaching myself. I'm not going to get help myself, right? It's kind of hypocritical. It's like, who are we to tell other people that we're going to support them when we're not getting to support ourselves? It's, for many coaches, they're not even able to provide the kind of support that truly would be valuable for their clients if they're not regularly getting fed with what they need. Not just get their practice going, but to be the best coaches they possibly can be. And you get to that level of thinking, then you start getting some momentum. Then you start using the next strategy, and the next strategy, and the next strategy. Then you start seeing with clarity and being aware of exactly what challenges you're dealing with, whether it's psychologically, or strategically, or business-wise, or financially, etc., or time-wise. We start breaking through those, and then you get some clients under your belt, and then you want to repeat that and do it again and again and again. You find those strategies, start doing a few, and it's like all of a sudden, you're at this next level. And getting to that level of thinking will set you free. Because the fact is, most people, even besides, new coaches, most coaches even, they're not even close to where they want to be. They're not even close. They mitigate their real wants. They mitigate their goals. They give up their dreams so they can be comfortable, so they don't have to deal with the leadership challenges here. They don't have to overcome their fear and procrastination. They don't actually have to go offer people something that could truly change their life. They sacrifice that. They've sacrificed who they could be for comfort. And it's really unfortunate. You have no idea what you're really capable of until you do it. You'd be amazed. You'd be surprised at what you can do in this profession. Once you just kind of set yourself aside and you just go do these things. And you take action on it. And you do it in a concerted effort that's combined with a team that's really there to support you especially. And that is exactly what we do with our students every day. I mean, did you wake up this morning and I think I'm going to start a successful coaching business today? Well, maybe you did. That's you knew you were going to be on the webinar. Or, I think I'll make $1,000 in my first month of coaching, right? It's like, not everybody's doing that. But that's what I see with our students, our Quick Start students, every day. Every day making those kind of giant quantum leaps. Moving to the next level in their business, getting started, getting their first paying clients, multiplying their income. And we even have some of our most advanced students, our Master Coach University students, they come back and redo Quick Start Bootcamp because they know what a difference it makes. They know kind of momentum it generates. And they're doing advanced stuff. I mean, they're applying the Quick Start principles to going to the next level because they're starting a new initiative or a new niche or a new type of coaching or just kind of trying to get back on the mojo wagon and kind of getting their groove back, so to speak. So those are the kind of results that we see every single day. That's what I see every day. I'm telling you that I know you can do that. Unfortunately, what you can do currently, you may not even fantasize about. You don't even fantasize about what you could do. Like I said, you'd be surprised at how amazing you are. You'd be amazed. And when you get that dirt honest with yourself about what's possible, and you decide to go ahead and step out and do that and go for it, you think of a million ways to make those dreams happen. You start doing a few and you get some confidence. You didn't even get a certification yet, necessarily. Although we can do that too. But if you came here and you're still listening to me now, then you're ready to quickly start this thing. You deserve it. And you know what? The people in your life deserve it too. They deserve the most of you and the coach that you really are, the coach that you could be, and the master coach that you're going to become. Because there's something inside you that knows now is the time to start. Now is the time. And you were just waiting for the moment to choose. So we created this program, so to speak, the Quick Start Coaching Code program. It was actually based on, like I said before, my initial model of getting myself started as a coach, and then how we originally helped some of our original students that were starting their own coaching businesses. And we modified it over the years. But so it's modeled after the successes that we've seen. And it's based on the principle of transference. How do you transfer the wisdom, the habits, the actions of successful coaches that will produce clients fast? And there's really 3 ways that we do this. The first one is outstanding role models. I mean, you're going to be working with really great coaches during this time, but it's not just role models, it's also business models. So the business models that these coaches have used to get their coaching business started, not just, when it's amazing. Like, I've got all this fancy stuff I do in my business now. I wouldn't expect you to do it the first day, the first month. There's launch models that you can use that you need, and they need to be outstanding, and they need to be workable when you're just getting started. And these are doable for anybody. I show you the equipment, I show you the steps, I give you the assignments to do, and all you got to do is do it. That's all you got to do. 5-10 hours a week, you can crush it. Less than that, you can at least kind of get started. The first element that we talked about was outstanding role models and outstanding business models. That's the first thing. If you don't have the best strategies, well, then it's going to be more challenging. Let's put it that way. So that's the first piece. Sorry about that. By the way, I'm going to try and get my control back here. Let's see if I can make myself the presenter. Yes, I want to do that. Go ahead and show my screen. What the heck? Okay. All right. So you should now see my screen again. So we should be back to full visual. Just let me know if you can. So the first piece was role models and business models. The second element for transferring my success to yours, so these guys' success to your success in the coaching business is total immersion. This is not just about doing it, doing something once. This needs to be about being totally immersed in the process. That's one of the reasons why we have the boot camp that happens in 30 days. And it's meant to be fun, and you can participate as much as you like or as little as you like. But we give you so much happening during that 30 days. But by the end of that time, you have broken through to the next level in your coaching business. If you'd already started, if you hadn't started yet, you're started by the end of that 30 days. It's pretty much guaranteed. We'll talk about guarantees in a second too. But you're totally immersed in that process. This is about some accountability, not just having some friends to talk to, but really getting momentum forward. And then finally, spaced repetition. If you're going to succeed in this, you can't just do this once. You got to do it again and again and again. And over a period of 30 days, we have spaced repetition. We have multiple coaching sessions you'll have with me. We have other coaches that'll be working with you. We have a mastermind you'll be a part of on a regular basis. So you're taking action, you're taking a break, you're assessing where you are, and then you're taking the next action. You're watching the next video, learning the next thing, doing the assignments, basically. So there's a certain amount of spaced repetition that happens within that 30 days. And then after that, there's other elements that you'll be a part of that we'll talk about in just a second. So if you have outstanding models, including role models, total immersion, and spaced repetition in anything, including starting your coaching business, you're going to succeed if you actually participate. That's really what this is about. So this program is a 30-day program. Quick Start Coaching Code takes 30 days. And it will teach you how to quickly start a money-making coaching business and fulfill your purpose of making a difference in the lives of people you meet in as little as 10 hours per week. I do suggest about 5 or 10 hours or so per week as your investment of time during the program, at least, to get this thing started. And it includes several things. It includes, first of all, you'll get the Quick Start videos. And the Quick Start videos, there's over 20 videos. These are very extensive videos that cover everything in your coaching business and everything you need for just your coaching skills, the art and science of coaching itself, so that you can do a great job coaching and so you can actually get your business started, actually get the rollout going. All the fundamentals are covered. All the important elements are handled in that. There are also workbooks that go along with those videos. The Quick Start workbooks are very extensive. They actually have details that are not even in the videos, although the videos are comprehensive as well. There's extra nuggets within the workbooks. The workbooks also include step-by-step assignments. Once you watch one of the videos, really the next thing to do is go to the workbook and go to the assignments and follow through on the assignments, because the assignments are really answering the question to show you exactly what to do once you've learned the lessons that the videos actually provide. And then we have a community. And the Quick Start community is really, number one, we have a group of over 100 coaches now that have gone through Quick Start Boot Camp, have started their coaching practice, and are consistently supporting each other for starting and growing and launching their coaching businesses. So you'll be invited into that community. We have a private Facebook group that we use on a regular basis. My coaches are in there. I'm in there all the time answering questions. So you really get ongoing support besides the boot camp and the times when we're working with you one-on-one directly. That community is also really alive during the boot camps. We do boot camps twice a year. And during that boot camp, you'll be a part of a mastermind that I'm not even in that mastermind. It's a smaller group, about 10 coaches or so, that get together every single week to share ideas, share their strategies, share like what's working for them now. And you really have a chance to kind of steal their ideas in your own marketplace, in your own coaching business as well. So those masterminds are invaluable. And that community not only is working with each other on Facebook, but also over the masterminds and through the coaching sessions that I'll be running as well. So the curriculum works like this. As soon as you actually sign up for Quick Start Coaching Code, the first thing that happens is you will get access to all the videos and all the workbooks. You'll want to download your workbooks. You're going to want to start watching the videos, and you'll probably want to watch the videos all the way through before you even start doing anything, but some people like to go ahead and take action immediately. You'll start going through the curriculum. The boot camp will then come up. The next boot camp is starting in about a month. That is subject to change, but we do plan on doing it in a month. And when we start the boot camp, sometimes some of our students are just getting started, and some of them have been going through the home study courses for quite a while now. And you'll have access to those home study courses for life. But during the boot camp, we actually get together, and every week you'll be in a coaching session with me. But you'll also have several other coaches that are assigned to you to work with you, kind of keep you going, and keep you taking action on what you've learned within the home study format. I offer accountability if you choose to use it, to actually have you taking action on the assignments and anything else that you need to do to get your coaching business launched. And within that 30 days, you've gone through the 4 separate steps that you need to take to get your coaching business started. Preparation, practice, and planning things out. Prospecting, the actual conversations that are involved in getting your coaching business going. And then the payoff, the actual look at how this is working, how you're going to be getting these clients ongoingly, and how you can scale that up to expand the potential of your coaching business past anything else that could stop you. And so that's just the business side of it. And then there's the High Caliber Coaching Code. The High Caliber Coaching Code, we cover 3 separate weeks in the High Caliber Coaching Code. The first week is where we cover the mindset and skills of high caliber coaching. The second week is when we actually get into very specific types of clients, client situations, things like that, because there's very common issues that clients will have, weight loss and health and career and running a business and entrepreneurship, executive, there's a family, relationship. These are all covered in week 2. There's also very particular types of clients that we cover in week 2 as well. That are very common clients that you'll probably run into, even if that's not your niche. Then finally, in week 3, we have an entire course that covers every important foundational coaching technique that you need in order to support and coach anyone, anytime, anywhere, and leave them not only delighted with the process, but having had value from your coaching. There are certain techniques that you must really understand and be able to perform in order to, in my opinion, just provide the basics of what coaching can provide. And a lot of coaches call this stuff advanced. And it's really not, in my opinion. It's the stuff that you just got to do. And so the technique tool belt, so to speak, it's one of the most important resources that you can have as a coach. And it's really full of effective techniques for helping any client, like I said, anytime, anywhere. Now, the first step is really to go through that process, and then you'll be in the boot camp. And the boot camp is where you'll have a chance to use that stuff even more and get a momentum, get support for that. And then after the boot camp, in a couple months, we've got certification training coming up. Now, our next certification training is in San Diego in July. But if you can't attend that, we now have a completely 100% virtual certification process that you can go through. That's really meant to be a facsimile of our on-site certification. So if you can't make it to San Diego, or the next one will be in Orlando after that, then you can go through the virtual version of that. It's completely self-led, so you'll have plenty of time to go through it. You'll basically see what everybody sees when they're on site with certification, and you'll actually have a chance to do the assignments and get certified that way. We have an online exam. The whole thing is a codified process. If you want to upgrade and actually get your ICF credential, you can do that through the same process, by the way. Bottom line is, the first step is going to be to actually start going through the home study format. The second step will be to join us in the boot camp and take action on this stuff and get support, get my coaching, get coaching of others, and mastermind with other coaches. The third step will be to get certified. So we actually will provide you a certification within this part of the process. And really the final step is just to repeat this again, to go back to those techniques and methods, take your business to the next level, and you can always rejoin us for a future boot camp if you'd like, at least at this point. And we're doing these twice a year at this time. I'm here for you to support you for life in the growth of your coaching business. So I'll always be here one-on-one. If you want to call me and set up a session, or just email me or pop open a conversation on Facebook. And there's barriers, there's boundaries, there's challenges, there's strategic discussions, there's plateaus that we hit, right? And when you hit those plateaus, I'm here for you for as long as I'm capable of being here for you. That's for the foreseeable future, at least, if not for the rest of my life and business. So the benefits of this are pretty simple. You'll enroll new clients as a result of this. You'll change lives with your new coaching skill. You'll begin to market your larger business for really unlimited revenue potential. There are coaching businesses out there that I know about. I know the owners of these businesses, and they're running businesses that are doing $1 million a year, doing $10 million a year, doing $20 million. I know a few that are doing in the 40 and 50 million level. So this is a veritable business that is no joke. I mean, they kind of don't get bigger than that unless you're running a public company, right? So don't think of this as just like some fun thing. It is a fun thing. It's a wonderful thing. It's a gift, and it's a profound privilege to be able to make this kind of difference for people, right? But it's also a business. Make no mistake, it is a very serious business. And I will not pull any punches with how you get the business started and how you grow it as big as you want. Because we know how to do that. We've done that for ourselves, and we'll continue to do so. And we just want to reach more clients, and the only way we know we're going to do that without killing ourselves is by helping other coaches do the same. So if you'd like to join us on that journey, then here's how this will work. If you'd like to be a part of the Quick Start Coaching Code this time around, during this launch, I'm offering what is really a multi-$1,000 program for $649, $649. And like I said, you can even save another $100 off of that if you get a new client in the next week and you show me and I'm convinced that you got them. So I'll just send you a $100 check, and that's my promise to you. If you want to do that, that's the investment that it takes. By the way, this is completely guaranteed. So in the next 30 days, you sign up, 30 days from your sign up, or less, anytime before 30 days passes or before 31 days passes, if you find that this isn't for you, or you don't want to do the business anymore, or it's not the right program, or you don't like me, or the stuff, you don't want to do the assignments that we said and it doesn't make sense or whatever, just let us know and you get your money back. And every once in a while, somebody is just not the right move for them, and that's great. I just want to make this a no-brainer, so it's zero risk. And the only risk is the fact that you're putting your neck out there and you're saying, I want to do this. I'm committed. I'm going to make a difference. That's what that investment is ultimately about. I like you too. So anyway, so thanks for the comment. Besides that, though, I do want to clarify that the certification training bonus and the boot camp bonus, these are like $1,000 programs in and of themselves. Obviously, I don't even do one-on-one coaching anymore. So the fact that you get me available to you when you need me is, dare I say, priceless. If I do say so myself. But anyway, so I do also want to give you one other option for doing this, because every once in a while there's a coach that it's like, they know they can do this, they know this is the right move for them, or they're pretty sure, and they like the fact that this is not a huge risk because they're they can get their money back if it doesn't make sense for them, but they just don't have $649 like in their pocket or on a credit card or something like that. And if that's you, we have a payment program. And if you sign up for the payment program, it's 4 monthly payments of $249. So it is a little bit more than the $649. You're kind of getting a paid in full discount if you go ahead and make the whole investment up front. But just about everybody's got $249 usually. If they're in a position where they should even think about starting this. If you don't have $249 to your name, this is probably not the time to start your coaching business in full. If you need to get that income, the first thing is go get a job or go get that piece handled. And heck, we could probably work with you on that a little bit if you need support from one of our coaches on it. But $249 a month for 4 months is the payment program that I have available to you as well. And like I said, I'll give you $100 towards that if you get a paid client in a week from our conversation here. I'll basically give you until next weekend for that, because we're going to run the replay throughout the weekend. So not only is there no risk, but also I've tried to make this so that the investment is so crazy reasonable that anybody who's in a position to get their coaching business started should be able to afford it. And remember, the time is way more valuable than the money. The reason I expect an investment is, yes, this is a business for me, but also it's like I know that people, if they just get this and they don't pay for it, they won't value it. So that's really your investment in your commitment to yourself and your clients and your mission for the world as well. That's the earnest money that says, no, I'm not just going to back out of this. There's some flesh in the game. I need to know there's flesh in the game, or I can't work with you because I know it's probably a waste of time. Even if you mean well, it's probably a waste of time. I know it for me. Like, if I don't pay for something, it's like, maybe I'll go do something else, right? That's like your commitment. I don't need the money. I need your commitment, though. And you do need to put some time in. 5 to 10 hours a week for 4 weeks is about what it takes. You make sure you can do that. Make sure you're willing to do that. If you can't do that, we can talk about, what makes sense for you. You need to do like 3-4 hours a week. You could probably at least get in the ballpark of it. But I want this to really work for you, and I can guarantee it'll work if you put in 5 or 10 hours a week, basically, of serious work to getting this thing started. So, just to reiterate, one more time, $649 if you're paying in full for the discount, or 4 payments of $249, 4 monthly payments, 30-day money-back guarantee. You get the entire home study course with High Caliber Coaching Code and Quick Start Coaching Code, the videos, all 20-plus videos, almost 1,000 pages of workbook and assignments to support you with even more detail than is in the videos. On top of that, you get, as a bonus, the 30-day coaching through the Quick Start Boot Camp that we do twice a year. You can come back and do it again if you want. You can participate as much or as little as you like in that boot camp. And you also will have our certification training in San Diego or Orlando or virtual, or you can do the virtual and then come see us if you'd like to do that as well. So not only would you get your first coaching certification from us through this program, but you'll also get your business started and learn coaching and get personal support from me in the process. So that was a mouthful. But really, one client, you get one client, it pays for the program. One client that's going to pay an average fee. You're paying for your investment, at least your money investment. How do you sign up? Here's how to sign up. I'm going to send you an email very, very soon, depending on the technical difficulties that I have tonight. Wanted to get this out to you tonight. We'll see how it goes. And that email is going to contain a recap link. It's It's going to give you a little bit of a recap of what we covered here in much shorter form. And it's also going to give you a link to go ahead and register if you choose to do that. The other way that you can go ahead and register if you want to talk to a human being is you can talk to Chris Thompson. Chris is my top coach, and his number, I'm going to type his number in the chat, but I'm also going to say it out loud as well. So his number is 619-334-8970. That's 619-334-8970. And I'm going to see if I can find his email for you as well. See if I can pull that up real fast. I mean, you can email me, but you're going to get a faster response from Chris. I'm busy screwing up web slides and webinar connections and stuff like that. So, so that's Chris's email, salesleadershipcoach@gmail.com. That's salesleadershipcoach@gmail.com. All one big fat word. And so Chris can answer questions and talk to you personally if you'd like to talk to a human being. Let's see. So I'll keep that up for the next couple days, and then after that, we will have an opening of registration that, if you're on the interest list, you should receive. And I think that's pretty much the long and the short of how to sign up. So, like I said, you can sign up over the link that I'm going to send you over email tonight, or you can wait until we open, or you can get in touch with Chris, and Chris will answer your questions and support you as well. Let's see. Somebody had a question about the certification training. So, I mean, I can give you more details on that. We're way over on time right already. What I can tell you is that the certification training is an advanced training. It is not just the Quick Start basics. It doesn't rehash what we cover in the Quick Start. And you're getting that certification training as a bonus just for this time, just for this launch. For what I call the Platinum Package. So you're actually going to receive that advanced certification from us, and that certification training is actually being accredited by ICF. If you'd like to upgrade to the ICF credentialing program to get your ICF credentials, you can also participate in that and just upgrade. That is, it's a little bit more, but it's only like a couple $100 extra to do that. So if you're interested in doing that, just email me. Email me at my brand new shiny email. I'm going to type it in the chat if you're interested in certification. It's just Jeffrey at quickstartcoachingcode.com. Jeffrey, Jeffrey, at Quickstart Coaching Code, which is the site that hopefully you've been on already. quickstartcoachingcode.com. And I will, we include, okay, so there's a couple questions coming up about certification. We actually include certification training in the 649. Okay, so you're going to get certified by us, personally by us. It's an advanced certification and is a recognized certification. If you want your ICF credential, okay, this is the world-recognized governing body of coaching as we know it. If you want your ICF credential, you would need to upgrade to the ICF credentialing program, because there's additional extension trainings that we give you. That these are advanced trainings that cover the ICF core competencies, because I teach a little bit different set of competencies, and we actually brought in an ICF credentialing expert. His name is Alan Myers, and he's already credentialed, and he's credentialing coaches for us, and I'm partnered with him for that advanced training. So that's, you know, a couple of $100 extra. You can upgrade. You can upgrade at another time. It probably will be a lot more. So if you upgrade now, it's going to be, I think it's 6, 7, 8, 9. It's like $350 to upgrade, basically, if you want to do it now. If you upgrade after the launch, you upgrade. In other words, if you purchase Quick Start and you upgrade another time, it's probably going to be more like $1,000. Just so you know. Now, I want to give a caveat, because this is coming up about certification. Coaches are nutty about certification. They want every kind of certification they can get. What I said tonight is get an easy certification, get your initial certification. We provide that through this program. You don't need anything else. to get certified as a coach and learn everything you need to do as well. If you want your ICF credential, you can go ahead and upgrade. Now, that's great, but I do not necessarily recommend that for every new coach. You don't need to do that necessarily. It's a great thing to do. We provide it. I mean, I'm like a surgeon saying let's not operate, but you don't have to do that. I just want to be as honest as I can about that. I'd love it if you're in that program, no doubt. You know, it's I'd love to do business with you on that area, but it's definitely not required to get your clients. And ICF credentialing is another can of worms as well. So just, I'd recommend just get started. Once you're started, then we can move on to that level. It'll be well worth it when you're making money, getting clients, and in momentum to go ahead and get your credential at that point, or at least explore it with us. And we're happy to explore that with you whenever it makes the most sense. We're not going anywhere, but we're definitely here to support you in this program and get you certified if that's really what you're looking for and what you need. And my guess is that's probably the case. Okay, so if there's any other questions about that, please don't hesitate to type in the chat at this point. And I had a couple other promises, and I hope I remember what they are, because, oh no, I don't need to remember. I actually do have some slides. They're just not complete. So, as promised, I told you at the beginning that I was going to tell you how to get the slides and the full video recording of this webinar. So here's how to do that. Let me show my screen again. All right, here we go. All right, so I told you I'd tell you how to get the slides and the full video recording of the webinar. First of all, to get the slides, you want to go to quickstartcoachingco.com/webinar sign up. Now, chances are you've already done this, and if you have, you're going to get the slides via email. I will email them to you, to whatever email you used to sign up for the webinar. I just typed that URL in the chat as well. It's quickstartcoachingco.com/webinar sign up. Okay, you'll see a page like this. Click the button, put in your information, and you're ready to rock and roll. I'm going to be sending out both the slides and the full video recording of this chaotic webinar in all its grandeur. And so anyway, you'll get both of those via email as long as you've signed up with the email that you check via that link. That's all you got to do to get the slides and the full recording of the webinar. The webinar will be up all weekend, and the slides will be available during that time as well. I also promised that you would get your completed action plan. So you got that if you actually took notes and were here. Then you got your completed action plan. I'm probably going to go ahead and put together a completed action plan. I'm going to email out to you anyway, just so it's kind of filled in for you. But hopefully you got that at this point, because that's pretty much what we did tonight. And then finally, a strategy session with my coach. In order to get your strategy session, you may have already done this, so if you've done it, then my coach will be getting in touch with you. But if you go to quickstartcoachingco.com/need help, and just follow directions, click the link, and fill out the information that you need to fill out, that we ask you to fill out, then that will give our coach what they need to kind of assess where you are, where you're going, what your goals are, what your challenges are, what your coaching business model is likely to be, and actually get in touch with you to set a time to run that session as well. They're there to strategize with you on how you're going to get this done, right? That's ultimately what we're here to do across the board. That's just the beginning of it. And their commitment in that session is to really make sure that you have a valuable experience where you know what's next and how you're going to get those first paid clients beyond what we talked about in this webinar. And then also to see, does it make sense for us to work together at this point? And if it doesn't, we'll let you know that. But if it does, we'll let you know that as well, and let you know what your options are, whether you're getting your credential with us, whether you're going to go into Master Coach University and master this stuff over a period of a year, or whether you're going to work with us to get this thing launched and started and start making money as a coach, so then you can decide how you want to move it to the next level. So hopefully I've fulfilled on all my promises, even though I didn't have pretty slides for you this time around. Let me know if you got any other questions. I think we covered everything that anybody asked, and I'm not going to go back into the scroll the world of scrolling, and I don't even know if I might have lost some of the chat from getting logged off several times. So if you got any remaining questions that you still have, just go ahead and ask them now. I'll be going over questions that you left on the blog over the next week or so. I'll be answering those via email. But if you got any remaining questions, feel free to post them in the chat now. And, look, I look forward to working with you this summer to make this happen for you. And no matter what, I'd love to hear from you, to know what you learned, what kind of difference this made, how you got your first paid client, and just anything that's going on for you, because I love to see that what we did here made a difference. That's really what is the juice for me. That's just what makes a coach. I mean, I love making money as a coach. I love my business. I love my freedom. I love my family. There's no doubt that that's part of my life too. But it's like I said, it's a profound privilege to know that I made a difference while I was here. We got a short time, and if you're not going to do this now, then I don't know when you're going to do it. And if there's fear there, then welcome to the club. We're all afraid to some extent. If there's money issues, then once again, money is always an issue. But if you're going to make money as a coach, we can't let that stop you from getting going with that, or money could remain an issue. Money was an issue for me, and hey, look, it's still a consideration, right? But money was an issue for me before I started coaching. Then I started my coaching business, and I worked with somebody, paid them like $1,000 a month to coach me. I had like $1,000 to my name at the time. But I paid it because I believed in them. I believed what they were doing was going to work, and they were making like $1 million a year as a coach at that time. So I figured I better hire them if I'm going to make any money. I figured if I could do 1/10 of what they're doing, I should be okay. And guess what? I'm doing more than 1/10 of what they're doing at this point. I'm doing quite a bit more. The reason is because I was willing to take that risk, so to speak, at the beginning of that journey when I didn't have the money. I had to spend the money when I didn't have it so I could get the money, and now I don't need to worry about spending it. Last time I thought about money for purchases was like family budget time, because there's always a budget for family. Once you got a kid, you're, all the money is gone anyway. Goes to them, right? But we can pay our way. I'm the breadwinner of my family. This is all I do. I don't do anything else. So it's totally doable. Don't let that lack of money now get in the way of getting the money once you're started as a coach. We'll work with you to make that work if it's an issue. But you got to talk to us. You can't just hide out. Let's see. We did have a couple questions come in. I'll answer those. I'm on the sign up page. Can't see where to sign up. If you're looking at the sign up page for that I'm showing you on my screen, there's a big yellow button at the top that says claim my spot now. You just click that and fill in the information that pops up. And so hopefully that answers that question. On any page there should be a button that'll open up a form for you for that. Let's see. Pat asked, do you give info on how to gain content for your coaching sessions in your niche? Yeah, in fact, the whole second week of High Caliber Coaching Code is all about content. It's all about content. It's not like coaching technique is a non-content thing. It's like you know how to coach, but you may not know like what to teach people and what to tell them and what the best practices are to get them where they want to go. So what we provide in week 2 is there's lots of different types of clients that you're going to come across in different types of situations where whether you're a great coach or not, if you just share these distinctions with them, you just share this information, this advice, these strategies, and these processes, it's gonna be transformational for your clients. So yeah, we provide that in week 2 of High Caliber Coaching Code in terms of content. You can literally take that content, turn it into blog posts and videos and training programs and coaching programs and use them in your coaching sessions all you want. That's what I want you to kind of steal that stuff for that purpose, at least. Okay, hopefully that answered that question. Let me know if it didn't. Tanisa says, I already have 2 potential clients, and now I know how to move forward to gain money. Okay, great. Really, really great. Yeah, absolutely. You're welcome, Tanisa. Go out there, kick butt, and let's really make a difference for those guys. And then let's make some money in the process. And then we'll go find more, and we'll rinse and repeat, and we'll be at the point where at some point it's like you won't need to do anything but this, and you're gonna be changing the world and getting paid while you do it. That's what this is about. Let's see. Thought that was simply for joining the seminar. Not what you mean. Not sure what you mean. Oh, yeah. You're talking about the sign-up page. Yeah, if you already signed up on that, little Miss S, if you don't know what the S stands for, if you already signed up at that page, you're gonna get all that stuff. Okay, you're gonna get the replay, you're gonna get the slides, you're gonna get all that. So you don't need to do it again. If you have a different email you want to use, you could do it again. But yeah, that covers that. Okay, Sheeman. Okay, I hope I got that right. All right, so little Miss Sheeman, that's you're good if you're already on the interest list there. You'll get it via email. Yeah, Ebony, you're welcome. Absolutely. Shyman. Okay, great. All right, that makes it easy. Thank you. So any other questions? Let me know. But I look forward to working with you on your journey. And no matter what, if you start this business, you're going to be on an extraordinary journey that'll change lives and change your own life in the process. It really is going to transform you. You won't be the same. The best parts of you will be brought out, and you'll have challenges. But as you transmute those challenges, you'll have the strength and a power and an unstoppability, and you'll be able to share that with others, and it'll change the universe, And when we leave this life, you'll know that, you'll know, hey, I'm not going to be around anymore, it's not for me anymore. But you know what I left behind is truly extraordinary. I hope that your life brings that to the world. You can do it. I know you can. And I'd love to help you do it. So take care. I look forward to working with you in Quick Start Bootcamp or the ICF Credentialing Program or Master Coach University or all of the above. If we work together on that. If you got any questions, let me know. And email me, talk to Chris, and then when I send you the recap, I'll see you in the program. Take care, guys, and I'll talk to you soon.